Close your eyes and imagine the year 1750 BCE. The great King Hammurabi rules from his palace, but tonight we're not visiting royalty. Instead, we're following Ishtar Bani, a potter's wife, as she begins her daily routine in the shadow of Babylon's towering walls. The first light of dawn creeps through the small window of her mud-brick home, casting long shadows across the packed earth floor. The air is cool and still, carrying the faint scent of barley from nearby granaries and the distant murmur of the Euphrates River as it winds its way past the city's massive walls. Ishtar Bani stirs slowly on her reed mat, her body emerging from the deep sleep that comes only to those whose days are filled with honest labor. She lies still for a moment, listening to the sounds that herald the beginning of another day in the greatest city of the ancient world. Somewhere in the distance, a rooster crows, its call answered by another, then another, until a chorus of morning greetings echoes across the residential quarter. The sound of sandaled feet on stone pathways begins to filter through the walls, accompanied by the creaking of wooden cartwheels and the soft lowing of cattle being led to pasture beyond the city gates. Her sleeping chamber is simple but comfortable, reflecting the modest prosperity that comes from skilled craftsmanship and careful household management. The walls are thick mud brick, formed from clay taken from the river banks and mixed with chopped straw and animal hair for strength. These materials, abundant and inexpensive in Mesopotamia, create structures that remain cool during the scorching summer months and retain warmth during the cooler winter season. Along one wall, wooden pegs hold their few but treasured possessions. An extra tunic for each of them hangs neatly, woven from wool that came from sheep raised in the grasslands beyond the city. A woolen cloak for cooler evenings displays the deep blue dye that only the most skilled craftsmen can achieve. In a small leather pouch, carefully secured with bronze pins, rest their most precious items: copper jewelry that belonged to Ishtar Bani's grandmother, a small bronze knife that Enlil Bani inherited from his father, and a few silver pieces saved against lean times. These objects, worn smooth by countless hands, represent the accumulated wealth of generations. Each piece tells a story of family history, connecting the present to the past and providing security for an uncertain future. In a world without banks or formal savings institutions, such portable valuables serve as both insurance and inheritance, carefully preserved and passed down through family lines. In the corner of the room sits a small household shrine, a sacred space that reflects the deep religious faith that permeates every aspect of Babylonian life. Clay figurines, no taller than a child's hand, represent the protective spirits that watch over their home. Nanaya, goddess of love and fertility, stands beside Nusku, god of fire and light. These deities, while not as mighty as Marduk or Ishtar, are intimate protectors who concern themselves with the daily welfare of ordinary families. Each morning and evening, Ishtar Bani lights a small oil lamp before these figures and whispers prayers for protection, prosperity, and peace. The shrine is decorated with dried flowers, small offerings of bread or grain, and occasionally a drop of precious perfumed oil on special festival days. This daily ritual connects her to the divine order that governs the cosmos while providing comfort and strength for the challenges that each day may bring. Ishtar Bani is covered by a simple woolen blanket that her mother wove years ago during the long winter evenings when outdoor work became impossible. The blanket shows signs of age and use, a small patch where Enlil Bani accidentally burned it with a coal from the hearth, a carefully darned section where moths had weakened the fabric, edges that have been reinforced with strips of linen to prevent further fraying. Yet despite its imperfections, the blanket remains one of her most cherished possessions, a tangible link to the woman who taught her the skills that now sustain her household. The wool itself tells the story of Mesopotamian agriculture and trade. It came from sheep that graze on the sparse grasslands that stretch between the rivers, animals carefully bred over generations to produce fleece suited to the region's climate and needs. The dyeing process that gave the wool its rich brown color involved substances traded from distant regions: madder root from mountain valleys, iron-rich clay from specific riverbank deposits, and mordants that fix the color permanently in the fibers. Spinning the wool into yarn required hours of patient work with a simple spindle, twisting the fibers to achieve the strength and consistency needed for weaving. The yarn was then woven on a vertical loom, with the weaver standing for hours to create the complex patterns that mark the cloth as the product of skilled hands. Every thread in the blanket represents effort, knowledge, and artistry passed down through generations of women who understood that beauty and utility must combine in the objects that support daily life. The clay floor beneath her is smooth and cool against her feet as she rises, the surface maintained through daily cleaning and periodic renewal with fresh clay and sand. This flooring, while simple, requires specific maintenance techniques to remain functional and attractive. Water helps bind loose clay particles and remove surface contamination, while fresh sand provides a clean walking surface and helps absorb spills that might otherwise create permanent stains. Her husband, Enlil Bani, still sleeps beside her, his breathing deep and regular in the gentle rhythm of peaceful rest. His calloused hands rest on his chest, stained permanently with the red clay that is their livelihood and marked by years of handling the tools and materials of his trade. Even in sleep, his fingers remain slightly curved, permanently shaped by decades of holding and forming the wet earth that provides their sustenance and security. The lines around his face speak of years spent squinting at his work under the bright Mesopotamian sun, concentrating on the subtle details that separate superior pottery from merely adequate work. His hair, now streaked with gray at the temples, is kept short for practical reasons. Long hair can interfere with pottery work and collect dust and clay particles that are difficult to remove. His beard, neatly trimmed, shows the same practical consideration for cleanliness and efficiency. Their small home consists of 3 rooms, each serving multiple functions in the way that characterizes efficient use of valuable urban space. This sleeping chamber also serves as a storage area for their most precious possessions and as a retreat during the hottest part of summer days. The workshop where clay vessels take shape doubles as a display area for finished pieces and a planning space where Enlil Bani sketches designs and calculates material requirements. The courtyard provides workspace for activities that require more room or better ventilation, while also serving as a social area where friends and neighbors can gather. The architectural design reflects centuries of accumulated knowledge about living comfortably in Mesopotamia's challenging climate. Thick walls provide insulation against both heat and cold, while their thermal mass helps moderate indoor temperatures throughout the daily cycle. Small windows reduce heat gain during summer while admitting sufficient light for indoor activities. The central courtyard creates air circulation that helps cool the interior spaces while providing a protected outdoor area for work and relaxation. Water storage represents one of the most critical aspects of household management in this arid region. Large ceramic jars, products of Enlil Bani's skill, hold several days' supply of drinking water drawn from the neighborhood well. Additional vessels contain water for cooking, cleaning, and craft work, each serving specific purposes that require different levels of purity and freshness. The household's water supply must be carefully managed to ensure adequate quantities for all needs while preventing waste of this precious resource. Ishtar Bani moves quietly to the courtyard, her bare feet making no sound on the packed earth floor. The walls around her are thick and sturdy, built to keep the desert heat at bay during the scorching summer months and to provide security against the occasional sandstorms that sweep across the Mesopotamian plains. Each brick was made by hand in wooden molds, dried under the relentless sun, and carefully laid with mortar that contains chopped straw and animal hair to improve its strength and durability. The mortar between the bricks tells its own story of ancient technology and adaptation. The base material is clay mixed with water to create a plastic mass that can be shaped and molded. Chopped straw adds tensile strength, preventing cracking as the mortar dries and settles. Animal hair, usually from goats or sheep, provides additional reinforcement while helping the mortar adhere to the brick surfaces. Sand and small stones add bulk and reduce shrinkage, while limestone or gypsum, when available, improves the mortar's water resistance. Construction techniques reflect generations of experience with building in challenging environmental conditions. Foundations must be deep enough to remain stable during seasonal flooding, while walls must be thick enough to provide insulation and structural strength. Roof construction requires careful attention to drainage, as occasional heavy rains can overwhelm inadequate systems and damage interior spaces. The builders who constructed these homes possessed sophisticated understanding of materials and engineering principles, even though they lacked formal engineering education. Now, in the gentle morning of early spring, the walls provide a sense of security and peace that allows the household to function efficiently and comfortably. The thickness of the construction creates an acoustic barrier that reduces street noise while providing privacy for family activities. Interior temperatures remain relatively stable despite exterior fluctuations, creating a comfortable environment for both work and rest. The courtyard serves multiple functions in their modest household, demonstrating the efficient use of space that characterizes successful urban living. During the day, it becomes an extension of their living space, a place where cooking, washing, and craft work can be performed in the open air with good lighting and ventilation. The space also serves as a storage area for tools, materials, and finished products that require protection from rain but benefit from air circulation. Clay vessels of various sizes line one wall, each serving specific purposes in the complex economy of household management. Large storage jars hold grain, oil, and other bulk commodities that must be preserved for extended periods. Medium-sized vessels serve for water storage, food preparation, and serving meals to family and guests. Small containers hold spices, medicines, and other valuable substances that require careful portioning and protection from contamination. These vessels represent years of Enlil Bani's work, practical pieces created for daily use rather than decoration, though their clean lines and balanced proportions demonstrate the aesthetic sense that separates skilled craftsmen from mere producers of utilitarian objects. Each piece reflects understanding of both functional requirements and visual appeal, showing that even practical items deserve careful attention to design and execution. A small garden occupies one corner of the courtyard, where Ishtar Bani grows herbs and vegetables that supplement their diet and provide ingredients for household medicines. The garden requires careful planning and maintenance, as water is precious and must be used efficiently to maximize production from limited space. Raised beds help improve drainage while conserving water, and careful crop selection ensures that the garden produces useful plants throughout the growing season. Onions push green shoots through the dark soil, their bulbs developing beneath the surface where they remain cool and moist. These hardy plants provide both food and medicine, as onion preparations can treat various ailments while adding flavor to meals. Garlic bulbs rest in adjacent rows, waiting for harvest time when they will be braided into strings for storage throughout the year. Aromatic herbs occupy the most protected section of the garden, where they receive morning sun but afternoon shade that prevents them from withering in the intense heat. Coriander, dill, and mint add both flavor to meals and pleasant fragrance to the courtyard air. These plants also serve medicinal purposes, as their essential oils can treat digestive problems, headaches, and other common ailments that affect household members. The garden soil itself represents careful preparation and ongoing maintenance. River silt, rich in nutrients deposited by annual flooding, forms the base material. Compost made from kitchen scraps and animal manure adds organic matter that improves soil structure while providing slow-release nutrients for plant growth. Ash from the household hearth contributes potassium while helping to maintain proper soil pH for optimal plant growth. She kneels beside a large ceramic jar, one of her husband's finest works, and draws cool water with a copper ladle that gleams softly in the early morning light. This ladle is a precious possession that her father gave her when she married, hammered from metal, traded from distant mountains where copper veins run deep beneath the earth. The metal shows signs of age and use, small dents and scratches that tell the story of years of faithful service, a green patina that forms naturally when copper reacts with moisture and air. The copper for the ladle began its journey in mountain mines far from Babylon, where skilled miners followed veins of ore deep into rocky hillsides. The extraction process required knowledge of geology and metallurgy, as copper rarely occurs in pure form but must be separated from other minerals through heating and chemical treatment. The refined metal then traveled along trade routes that connected distant regions, passing through many hands before reaching the craftsmen who shaped it into useful objects. The hammering technique that shaped the ladle requires both skill and patience, as copper must be heated and cooled repeatedly to prevent cracking during the forming process. The craftsmen who made this piece understood how to manipulate the metal's properties, knowing when to heat it for easier shaping and when to work it cold for greater precision. The smooth curves and balanced proportions of the finished piece demonstrate mastery of both technical and aesthetic principles. The water comes from the household's main storage vessel, a massive jar that holds several days' supply of drinking water and represents one of the family's most important possessions. The water itself was drawn from the neighborhood well the previous evening when the day's heat had subsided and the walk with heavy vessels became manageable for women and children who typically perform this essential task. Community wells serve clusters of households, their depths carefully maintained by local authorities who understand that water access means life or death in this arid climate. The wells tap into underground aquifers fed by the distant rivers, providing relatively clean water that requires minimal treatment before consumption. Well maintenance requires specialized knowledge and community cooperation, as proper construction and cleaning prevent contamination that could sicken entire neighborhoods. Water quality varies depending on the well's depth, location, and maintenance history. The best wells produce clear, sweet water that requires no treatment before use. Others may need settling or filtration through sand and charcoal to remove sediment and improve taste. The most problematic wells, often those in lower-lying areas, may produce brackish water suitable only for cleaning and irrigation. The water drawing process itself reflects the social organization of ancient neighborhoods. Women typically handle this task, creating informal networks that share information about water quality, well maintenance needs, and community news. Children often assist with water carrying, learning responsibility while contributing to household welfare. Men may help with heavy lifting or well maintenance, but the daily water supply usually remains women's responsibility. The water is refreshing against her face and hands as she performs her morning ablutions, each movement deliberate and calm, part of a ritual that connects her to the gods and prepares her spirit for the day ahead. She cups water in her palms and lets it run over her wrists, watching as the droplets catch the early morning light like tiny jewels scattered across her skin. The washing ritual extends far beyond simple cleanliness, embodying spiritual and social significance that makes it essential for proper daily preparation. In Babylonian belief, water possesses purifying properties that cleanse not only the body but also the spirit, removing contamination from dreams and sleep while preparing the individual for interaction with both divine and human communities. The sequence of washing follows traditional patterns passed down through generations of women. Face washing comes first, clearing away the residue of sleep and dreams while symbolically preparing to see the world clearly. Hand washing removes physical contamination while representing readiness to handle the day's tasks with clean hands and pure intentions. The final rinse over wrists and forearms completes the purification while providing refreshing coolness that helps wake the body completely. Water temperature affects both the physical and spiritual aspects of the washing ritual. Cool water provides the shock that helps dispel sleepiness, while symbolizing the clarity and purity that should characterize the awakened mind. Warm water, when available, offers comfort and relaxation, but may not provide the mental alertness that cool water stimulates. The choice often depends on seasonal conditions and personal preference developed over years of practice. The ritual connects her to countless generations who have performed the same actions, creating a sense of continuity and belonging that transcends individual existence. This connection provides psychological comfort while reinforcing cultural identity and religious faith. The knowledge that her mother, grandmother, and countless ancestors began each day with similar actions creates stability in an uncertain world. After washing, Ishtar Bani combs her long dark hair with a wooden comb carved from olive wood, its teeth worn smooth by years of use. Her hair, which reaches past her shoulders when unbound, represents one of her greatest sources of personal pride and requires daily care to remain healthy and beautiful in the harsh climate. The comb itself is a family heirloom, carved by her grandfather from wood taken from an olive tree that grew on the family's ancestral land. Hair care in ancient Babylon involves more than simple vanity, reflecting cultural values about femininity, social status, and personal discipline. Well-maintained hair demonstrates a woman's attention to proper grooming while indicating that her household prospers enough to allow time for personal care. Neglected hair suggests either poverty, illness, or moral failure, making hair maintenance an important aspect of social presentation. The olive wood comb possesses properties that make it ideal for hair care. The wood is hard enough to maintain sharp teeth that can penetrate thick hair, yet smooth enough to avoid snagging or breaking delicate strands. Natural oils in the wood help condition hair while the fine grain creates a surface that glides easily through tangled sections. The comb's curved shape fits comfortably in the hand while allowing precise control during the combing process. Hairstyling options reflect both practical needs and cultural expectations. During work hours, hair must be restrained to prevent interference with cooking, cleaning, or craft activities. Braiding provides the most secure restraint while creating attractive patterns that demonstrate the woman's skill and attention to appearance. For special occasions, more elaborate styles incorporate ribbons, pins, or small ornaments that display family wealth and status. The hair itself tells the story of nutrition, health, and life circumstances. Thick, lustrous hair indicates good nutrition and general health, while thin or brittle hair suggests inadequate diet or underlying illness. The presence of gray hairs provides information about age and stress levels, while the hair cleanliness reflects access to water and soap, as well as personal discipline in maintaining hygiene standards. She works out tangles patiently, starting from the ends and gradually working toward the scalp to minimize breakage and discomfort. This technique, learned from her mother and refined through years of practice, prevents the painful pulling that can occur when knots are attacked directly. The process requires patience and gentle persistence, qualities that serve her well in many aspects of daily life. Patience in personal care reflects deeper character traits that influence all aspects of life. The ability to work slowly and carefully prevents mistakes while ensuring superior results. This same patience serves her well in cooking, where rushing can ruin expensive ingredients, and in social relationships, where hasty words can damage important connections. The daily practice of patient hair care reinforces these valuable personal qualities. When the tangles are removed, she braids her hair into a practical style that will keep it neat throughout the day's activities. The braiding pattern she chooses reflects both functional needs and personal preference, creating a style that will remain secure during physical work while displaying her hair's natural beauty. The finished braid will be covered by a light veil when she ventures into public spaces, following social customs that govern women's appearance outside the home. Braiding techniques vary according to hair length, texture, and intended use. Simple three-strand braids provide basic security for daily wear, while more complex patterns create decorative effects suitable for special occasions. Some braiding styles incorporate threads or ribbons that add color while helping to secure the finished arrangement. The choice of braiding style often reflects regional traditions, family customs, or personal creativity within accepted social bounds. The rhythm of daily life in Babylon flows like the river itself. Steady, predictable, comforting in its reliability and connection to natural cycles. This is a city where time moves according to the sun's path across the sky, where seasons dictate the ebb and flow of human activity, and where the annual flooding of the Euphrates marks the beginning of each agricultural year. There are no mechanical clocks to impose artificial schedules, no electric lights to extend productive hours beyond natural daylight. Human activity follows rhythms that have governed life for thousands of years, creating patterns that feel organic rather than imposed. People wake with the sunrise because darkness makes most work impossible. They rest during the hottest part of the day because physical labor in extreme heat becomes dangerous. They retire soon after sunset because oil for lamps is expensive, and most evening activities can be postponed until the next day. These natural rhythms create a sense of harmony between human needs and environmental conditions that modern life often lacks. Work proceeds at sustainable paces that prevent exhaustion while maintaining quality. Rest periods provide genuine recovery rather than brief pauses in relentless activity. The integration of work and rest creates balanced daily experiences that support both physical health and mental well-being. Seasonal variations add larger patterns to the daily rhythms, creating annual cycles that provide variety while maintaining predictability. Spring brings planting activities and increased trade as travel becomes easier after winter. Summer requires adaptation to heat while taking advantage of long daylight hours. Autumn focuses on harvest and preservation activities that prepare for winter's limitations. Winter provides time for indoor crafts and planning for the coming year. From the courtyard, she can hear the city beginning to wake, the sounds building gradually from whispers to a gentle chorus of human activity. The distant sound of sandaled feet on stone pathways echoes through the narrow streets as early risers begin their daily routines. Wooden cartwheels creak under their loads as merchants prepare for another day of trade, their axles requiring frequent greasing to prevent the wooden components from wearing out under constant use. The sounds of awakening Babylon create a familiar symphony that marks the transition from night to day, each element contributing to the overall texture of urban life. Dogs bark as they shake off sleep and begin their daily patrol of territorial boundaries, their calls answered by other dogs throughout the neighborhood, until a wave of canine greetings sweeps across the residential areas. Donkeys bray as they are loaded with goods for transport to markets or workshops, their complaints echoing off the walls of narrow streets. Children's voices add higher notes to the morning chorus as mothers wake them for the day's activities. The sound of their chatter and laughter provides a sense of hope and continuity that brightens even the most routine morning. Their energy and enthusiasm for each new day reminds adults of the joy that can be found in simple activities when approached with the right attitude. The soft lowing of cattle drifts over the walls as herders lead their animals to pasture beyond the city walls, the sound growing fainter as the herds move toward the grasslands that provide their sustenance. A rooster crows from a neighboring courtyard, its call answered by another, then another, until a chorus of morning greetings fills the air with proclamations that night has ended and day has begun. Roosters serve as natural alarm clocks for communities without mechanical timekeeping, their calls synchronized with sunrise regardless of season or weather conditions. Their reliability makes them valuable household assets, while their aggressive protection of territory provides security for other poultry. The cock's crow becomes a community signal that coordinates morning activities and helps maintain social rhythms. Babylon is stirring, but slowly, like a great beast rousing from peaceful sleep. This is one of the world's greatest cities, home to perhaps 60,000 souls, all beginning their day with similar rituals of washing, dressing, and preparing for the work ahead. Yet despite its enormous size, the city maintains an intimate quality, each neighborhood knowing its own rhythms, its own characters, its own daily dramas and celebrations. The scale of Babylon represents a remarkable achievement for its time period, requiring sophisticated systems for water supply, food distribution, waste management, and security. Babylon is stirring, but slowly, like a great beast rousing from peaceful sleep. This is one of the world's greatest cities, home to perhaps 60,000 souls, all beginning their day with similar rituals of washing, dressing, and preparing for the work ahead. Yet despite its enormous size, the city maintains an intimate quality, each neighborhood knowing its own rhythms, its own characters, its own daily dramas and celebrations. The scale of Babylon represents a remarkable achievement for its time period, requiring sophisticated systems for water supply, food distribution, waste management, and security that enable such a large population to live together in relative harmony. The successful operation of this massive community demonstrates advanced administrative and organizational capabilities that rival those of much later civilizations. Urban planning in ancient Babylon reflects centuries of accumulated knowledge about creating livable cities in challenging environments. Streets are laid out to facilitate both commerce and defense, with main arteries wide enough for wheeled traffic connecting important areas like the palace, temples, and markets. Smaller residential streets branch off from these thoroughfares, creating neighborhoods where families of similar social status live in proximity to each other. The neighborhood structure provides both community support and informal surveillance that helps maintain social order. Neighbors watch over each other's welfare and property, while also monitoring behavior to ensure compliance with social expectations. This system creates security through mutual responsibility rather than relying solely on official law enforcement, though royal guards patrol the main streets and important buildings. Water distribution represents one of the most critical urban infrastructure challenges successfully solved by Babylonian engineers. Wells are strategically located to serve residential clusters while remaining accessible for maintenance and quality control. Drainage systems handle both sewage and stormwater, preventing the accumulation of waste that could create health hazards for the dense urban population. The city's layout reflects both practical needs and religious beliefs about proper urban organization. The Great Ziggurat occupies the ceremonial center, with the royal palace nearby to demonstrate the connection between divine and royal authority. Temples are distributed throughout the city to provide religious services for all neighborhoods, while markets are located to facilitate commerce without creating excessive congestion in residential areas. Ishtarban walks to her small kitchen area, where yesterday's bread sits wrapped in linen cloth, protected from dust and insects, while maintaining its moisture content. The bread is dense and hearty, made from barley flour, the grain that forms the backbone of Babylonian life and represents the foundation of civilization itself. She breaks off a piece and chews it slowly, savoring the nutty flavor that speaks of ancient traditions and the accumulated knowledge of countless generations. This same type of bread has sustained her people for millennia, baked in ovens that burn dried dung and reeds, flavored with seeds that grow wild along the riverbanks, and spices traded from distant lands. The bread-making process connects her to women throughout history who have transformed grain into sustenance, using techniques passed down through family lines and refined through centuries of experience. The bread represents more than simple sustenance in Mesopotamian culture. Grain and bread symbolize civilization itself, the transformation of wild plants into reliable food sources that allow permanent settlement and the development of complex society. The cultivation of barley and wheat freed humans from nomadic hunting and gathering, enabling the development of cities, writing, law codes, and specialized crafts that characterize civilized life. Barley flour provides the nutritional foundation for most meals, offering carbohydrates for energy, along with protein, vitamins, and minerals essential for health. The grain's hardy nature makes it well suited to Mesopotamian climate conditions, producing reliable harvests even during challenging years when other crops might fail. This reliability makes barley the preferred staple grain for families who cannot afford the risk of crop failure. Bread preservation requires careful attention to storage conditions that prevent spoilage while maintaining palatability. Linen wrapping allows air circulation that prevents mold while protecting the bread from insects and dust that could contaminate it. The cloth itself must be kept clean and dry to prevent it from becoming a source of contamination rather than protection. Day-old bread serves multiple purposes in the household economy. It can be eaten directly, though it becomes progressively harder and less palatable with age. It can be soaked in water or broth to create porridge-like dishes that stretch limited ingredients while providing filling meals. Stale bread can also be ground into breadcrumbs for use in other recipes or as coating for fried foods. The kitchen area, though small, contains everything necessary for preparing nutritious and flavorful meals that satisfy both physical needs and cultural expectations. Clay vessels of various sizes hold different ingredients: grain stored to prevent rodent damage, oil sealed against rancidity, dried vegetables and fruits protected from moisture that could cause spoilage. Wooden implements serve for stirring, serving, and storage, while bronze knives handle cutting tasks that stone tools cannot perform as effectively. Storage of food represents one of the most critical aspects of household management in a time without refrigeration or commercial food processing. Each type of ingredient requires specific conditions to maintain quality and prevent spoilage. Grain must be kept dry and protected from rodents that could consume or contaminate it. Oil requires sealed containers to prevent exposure to air that causes rancidity. Dried vegetables and fruits must be stored away from humidity that could promote mold growth or insect infestation. Food storage techniques reflect generations of accumulated knowledge about preservation methods that work in Mesopotamian climate conditions. Proper storage allows families to maintain food security throughout the year, including periods when fresh ingredients are scarce or expensive. Successful preservation also prevents waste of valuable resources that represent significant investments of labor and money. The organization of kitchen storage reflects efficiency principles that minimize preparation time while ensuring ingredient quality. Frequently used items are positioned for easy access, while special occasion ingredients are stored more carefully to preserve them for appropriate uses. This organization system develops through experience and reflects the cook's understanding of meal planning and preparation requirements. Bronze knives represent significant investments in household equipment that demonstrate both prosperity and commitment to food preparation quality. Bronze tools maintain sharp edges longer than stone implements, while resisting corrosion better than iron tools. The superior performance of bronze knives makes food preparation faster and more precise, improving both efficiency and results in cooking activities. Wooden utensils complement bronze tools by providing implements that do not react with acidic foods or impart metallic flavors to delicate dishes. Different woods provide different properties. Olive wood resists moisture and imparts pleasant flavors, while harder woods like oak provide durability for heavy-duty tasks. The selection and care of wooden tools reflects the cook's expertise and attention to equipment quality. The sun rises gradually, casting golden light into the courtyard and creating patterns of light and shadow that shift and dance as the sun climbs higher in the sky. Long shadows stretch across the packed earth, providing cool areas where work can be performed comfortably even as the day grows warmer. Ishtar Bani kindles a small clay hearth, blowing gently until the flames dance peacefully, their warm light adding to the growing brightness of morning. The transition from night to day creates gradually changing conditions that affect both work possibilities and comfort levels. Early morning provides cool temperatures, ideal for physical labor, while increasing light makes detailed tasks easier to perform accurately. Understanding how to coordinate activities with these changing conditions helps optimize both productivity and personal comfort throughout the day. Fire management represents a crucial household skill that affects cooking quality, fuel efficiency, and safety. Different types of fires serve different purposes: quick, hot flames for boiling water or searing meat, steady medium heat for slow cooking and baking, gentle warmth for keeping food warm or providing comfort during cool weather. Mastering fire control requires understanding of fuel types, airflow, and heat distribution. She feeds the fire with dried reeds and palm fronds, materials that burn clean and hot while producing minimal smoke that could contaminate food or create breathing difficulties. These fuel sources are readily available along the riverbanks and can be gathered by household members during slack periods, making them economical choices for daily cooking needs. Reed and palm frond fuels burn rapidly and require frequent attention to maintain consistent heat levels. This rapid burning creates the high temperatures needed for certain cooking techniques while allowing precise control over cooking duration. The quick consumption rate means that fires do not continue burning unnecessarily, conserving fuel while reducing fire hazards during periods when cooking is not required. Fire represents both practical necessity and sacred power in Babylonian culture, connecting household activities to cosmic forces that govern life and death. The hearth fire must never be allowed to die completely, as rekindling requires effort and precious materials while potentially disrupting cooking schedules. Maintaining fire demonstrates a household stability and proper management while connecting family members to the divine forces that provide life and sustenance. Sacred fires burn continuously in temples, connecting human communities to divine power and ensuring that civilization's light never dims completely. Household fires participate in this sacred network by maintaining connections between individual families and the cosmic order that governs all existence. The daily care of fire becomes a religious act that reinforces family relationships with protective deities. The fuel for cooking comes from various sources, depending on availability and seasonal conditions. Dried reeds from riverbanks burn quickly and provide intense heat, perfect for boiling water or quick cooking techniques. Palm fronds burn longer and more steadily, making them suitable for slow cooking and providing warmth during cool weather. Dried animal dung, while less pleasant to handle, provides steady, long-lasting fuel when other materials are scarce or when extended cooking periods are required. Fuel gathering represents another essential household task that requires planning and seasonal awareness. Reed cutting must be timed to harvest materials at optimal dryness levels while avoiding periods when new growth might be damaged. Palm frond collection requires permission from tree owners and knowledge of which fronds can be removed without harming the tree's health and productivity. Fuel storage requires protection from moisture that could prevent ignition while ensuring adequate supplies for cooking needs throughout the year. Dried materials must be kept in covered areas where rain cannot reach them, while air circulation prevents mold growth that could make materials unusable. Proper storage techniques ensure fuel availability while preventing waste of gathered materials. She prepares barley porridge, sweetened with date syrup. Stirring the mixture slowly with a wooden spoon, carved from olive wood by a craftsman who understood both the practical and aesthetic requirements of cooking implements. The dates come from groves that line the river, their sweet flesh dried and pressed to extract the thick amber syrup that serves as their primary sweetener and provides concentrated nutrition during periods when fresh foods are scarce. Date palm cultivation represents one of Mesopotamia's greatest agricultural achievements, providing communities with trees that produce food for decades while requiring minimal maintenance once established. These hardy trees thrive in the region's climate and provide multiple products that support household economies. Fresh dates provide immediate nutrition, while dried dates can be stored for extended periods without spoilage. Date syrup production requires skill and patience, as the process must extract maximum sweetness while achieving proper consistency for storage and use. Fresh dates are selected at perfect ripeness, then slowly cooked to concentrate their sweet essence without burning or developing off flavors. The resulting syrup keeps well in sealed containers and provides sweetening power equivalent to much larger quantities of fresh fruit. The trade in dates and date syrup connects Babylonian households to agricultural communities along the rivers while providing income for farming families. Date grove management requires specialized knowledge of palm cultivation, harvest timing, and processing techniques that maximize both yield and quality. Successful date producers can command premium prices for superior products. The wooden spoon shows the marks of long use, slight discoloration from foods that have stained the wood, smooth areas where hands have gripped it countless times, small nicks and scratches that tell the story of years of faithful service. Yet despite these signs of age, the spoon remains functional and beautiful, its curved shape fitting comfortably in the hand, while its smooth surface glides easily through cooking mixtures. Olive wood possesses properties that make it ideal for cooking utensils. The wood is hard enough to resist wear and maintain its shape under heavy use, yet it works easily when carved and can be shaped into elegant, functional forms. Natural oils in the wood help preserve it against moisture while imparting subtle flavors that enhance rather than compete with food tastes. The craftsmanship evident in the spoon reflects the skill level expected of woodworkers in ancient Babylon. Even utilitarian objects receive careful attention to both function and appearance, showing that aesthetic considerations apply to everyday items as well as luxury goods. This attention to beauty in common objects reflects cultural values that prize excellence in all forms of human creation. Tool maintenance extends the useful life of valuable implements, while ensuring optimal performance in daily tasks. Wooden utensils require occasional oiling to prevent cracking and regular cleaning to remove food residues that could harbor bacteria or create unpleasant flavors. Proper care makes quality tools last for years while maintaining their effectiveness and appearance. The sweet aroma fills the air, infusing their home with warmth and comfort that signals the beginning of another day of shared meals and family cooperation. This smell speaks of abundance, in a land where the rivers provide life, connecting their household to the natural cycles that govern agricultural production and sustain urban populations. Aromatic foods serve multiple functions beyond simple nutrition, providing sensory pleasure that enhances the dining experience while creating positive associations with mealtimes and family gatherings. Pleasant cooking smells also serve as social signals, informing neighbors about household activities while demonstrating culinary competence and family prosperity. The combination of barley and dates provides balanced nutrition that sustains energy levels throughout the morning's activities. Barley supplies complex carbohydrates and protein, while dates contribute natural sugars, vitamins, and minerals. This nutritional balance reflects traditional knowledge about food combining that creates satisfying, healthful meals from readily available ingredients. Breakfast preparation establishes the rhythm for the entire day, providing nourishment that enables productive work while creating family bonding time that strengthens relationships. The shared meal reinforces household unity while providing opportunities for planning daily activities and sharing information about individual responsibilities and goals. As she cooks, Ishtar Bani thinks about the day ahead, mentally organizing the tasks that will fill the hours from sunrise to sunset. There is bread to bake, using fresh flour ground from grain stored in large ceramic jars that stand in the courtyard. Weaving work awaits completion as she creates textiles that will provide both household furnishings and trade goods for acquiring items the family cannot produce themselves. Planning in ancient Babylon requires consideration of multiple factors beyond simple personal preference. Weather conditions affect what activities can be performed outdoors and influence the timing of tasks that require specific environmental conditions. Market schedules determine when goods will be available for purchase and when completed products can be sold to generate income for household needs. Daily planning also requires coordination with other family members to ensure that individual activities support overall household goals while avoiding conflicts over shared resources like workspace, tools, and materials. Successful household management depends on communication and cooperation that maximizes productivity while maintaining family harmony. The absence of artificial lighting means that productive work must be completed during daylight hours, creating natural boundaries for activity while requiring careful time management to ensure that essential tasks receive adequate attention. Women like Ishtar Bani become skilled at estimating task duration and organizing work sequences to make optimal use of available time. A visit to the market will allow her to trade some of her husband's pottery for goods they need, fresh vegetables to supplement their diet, spices to enhance meal flavors, and perhaps special ingredients for upcoming religious festivals that require traditional foods. The market also provides opportunities for social interaction that helps maintain community relationships while gathering information about local events and opportunities. Market visits require strategic planning to achieve the best results from limited time and resources. Understanding seasonal price variations helps determine optimal timing for different purchases, while knowledge of merchant schedules ensures access to desired goods. Successful market shopping also requires bargaining skills that achieve fair prices while maintaining good relationships with regular suppliers. Social aspects of market visits serve important functions beyond commercial activities. Markets provide opportunities for women to maintain friendships, share information about family news, and participate in community networks that provide support during difficult times. These social benefits make market visits valuable even when specific purchases are not urgently needed. She plans to stop by the temple as well, to make an offering, and seek the gods' blessing for their household's continued prosperity and protection. Religious observances provide spiritual comfort while fulfilling obligations that ancient people consider essential for maintaining divine favor and community standing. Temple visits served multiple functions in ancient religious practice, providing opportunities for personal prayer, community worship, and social interaction with other faithful community members. Regular temple attendance demonstrates proper religious observance while maintaining connections to protective deities who watch over individual and family welfare. Religious offerings represent investments in spiritual insurance that help ensure continued divine protection and blessing. Small offerings of food, oil, or handcrafted items demonstrate gratitude for past blessings while requesting continued favor for future endeavors. The reciprocal relationship between humans and gods requires regular attention to maintain balance and mutual benefit. These plans form slowly in her mind, flexible and unhurried, shaped by the natural rhythms of domestic life, rather than rigid schedules imposed by external authorities. The planning process itself reflects the adaptive nature of ancient household management, where changing conditions require continuous adjustment of activities and priorities. Flexibility in daily planning allows households to respond effectively to unexpected opportunities or challenges while maintaining progress toward longer-term goals. This adaptability proves essential in environments where weather, market conditions, and social circumstances can change rapidly and unpredictably. Mental organization of daily tasks helps ensure that nothing important is forgotten while allowing efficient coordination of related activities. Experienced household managers develop systematic approaches to planning that balance immediate needs against long-term objectives while maintaining the flexibility required for successful adaptation to changing circumstances. Until Bonnie awakens as the growing light filters through their small window, stretching slowly and rubbing his eyes to clear away the last vestiges of sleep. The lines around his face speak of years spent squinting at his work under the bright Mesopotamian sun, concentrating on the subtle details that separate superior pottery from merely adequate work. His hands, even in sleep, remain slightly curved, permanently shaped by decades of holding and forming the wet earth that provides their livelihood and defines his identity as a skilled craftsman. Sleep patterns in ancient Babylon follow natural cycles determined by sunset and sunrise, creating rhythms that synchronize human activity with environmental conditions. Without artificial lighting, people typically retire soon after dark and wake with the dawn, allowing their bodies to rest fully while maximizing productive daylight hours for work and social activities. The potter's hands tell the story of his craft in ways that words cannot fully capture. Decades of working with clay have left permanent marks, calluses in specific patterns where tools press against skin, slightly enlarged joints from repetitive motions, and an almost unconscious ability to gauge moisture and texture through touch alone. These physical adaptations represent the deep integration between craftsman and material that characterizes master-level skill. Hand sensitivity developed through years of pottery work allows experienced craftsmen to detect subtle variations in clay consistency, moisture content, and workability that less experienced workers cannot perceive. This tactile expertise enables superior results while reducing waste of materials and time through early detection of problems that could ruin finished pieces. The permanent curvature of fingers reflects muscle memory that develops through countless repetitions of shaping motions. This adaptation allows potters to work more efficiently while reducing fatigue during extended work sessions. The curved hand position becomes natural and comfortable, enabling the precise control required for creating complex forms and decorative details. Professional wear patterns on the body serve as badges of expertise that command respect from customers and fellow craftsmen. These marks demonstrate dedication to craft mastery while providing evidence of experience that cannot be faked or quickly acquired. In societies where written credentials do not exist, physical evidence of skill becomes crucial for establishing professional credibility. He sits up slowly, joints stiff from yesterday's work and the cooler night air that settles into sleeping chambers during the pre-dawn hours. His movements are deliberate and careful, reflecting both physical limitation and long-established habits that conserve energy while preventing injury. Morning stiffness affects most adults in ancient Babylon, where physical labor and limited medical care create cumulative effects on joints and muscles over time. Morning stiffness results from multiple factors, including temperature changes, sleep position, and the physical demands of daily work. Cool night air causes muscles and joints to contract, while extended periods of inactivity during sleep allow inflammation to accumulate around overworked areas. Gradual movement helps restore circulation while preventing sudden strain on rigid tissues. Age-related changes in physical condition require adaptation of work practices and daily routines to maintain productivity while preventing injury. Experienced craftsmen learn to pace themselves differently as they age, using wisdom and efficiency to compensate for reduced physical capacity while maintaining quality standards in their work. Preventive care for aging bodies includes gentle stretching, careful warm-up periods before strenuous activity, and attention to nutrition that supports joint health and muscle function. Traditional knowledge about herbs and foods that reduce inflammation helps older workers maintain their capacity while managing inevitable age-related changes. The potter's morning routine includes specific movements and stretches that prepare his hands and arms for the day's work. These exercises, developed through experience with craft requirements, help prevent injury while improving performance during demanding tasks like wheel throwing and clay manipulation. He performs his own morning ritual with the same deliberate care that characterizes all his activities, washing his face and hands with cool water that helps dispel sleepiness while preparing him mentally for the challenges ahead. The water removes not only physical residue from sleep, but also serves spiritual purposes, purifying the craftsman for work that connects earth and fire in acts of creation. Morning ablutions for craftsmen carry special significance, as clean hands and clear minds are essential for quality work that meets customer expectations and maintains professional reputation. The ritual preparation helps establish the mental focus required for precise work while demonstrating respect for the craft and materials involved in pottery creation. Water temperature affects both physical and mental preparation for work. Cool water provides the shock needed to achieve full alertness while symbolizing the clarity of thought required for skilled craftsmanship. The ritual cleansing also serves as a transition from personal to professional identity, preparing the craftsman to assume his role as a creator of useful and beautiful objects. Then he settles beside his wife for their morning meal, sharing the barley porridge and fresh bread that will provide energy for the day's activities. They eat breakfast together in comfortable silence, their communication extending beyond words to encompass the understanding that comes from years of partnership in both marriage and business endeavors. Shared meals serve multiple functions in ancient households, providing nutrition while strengthening family bonds and creating opportunities for communication about daily plans and concerns. The morning meal sets the tone for the entire day, while ensuring that family members begin their activities with adequate nourishment and mutual support. Silent communication between long-married couples reflects deep understanding that develops through years of shared experience and mutual dependence. Partners learn to read subtle signals about mood, health, and concerns without requiring verbal explanation. This nonverbal communication proves especially valuable during busy periods when time for extended conversation is limited. Breakfast timing coordinates with work schedules to provide energy when it is most needed, while allowing adequate digestion before beginning physically demanding activities. The meal composition balances quick energy from simple carbohydrates with sustained energy from complex carbohydrates and proteins, supporting productive work throughout the morning hours. Their marriage represents the long and stable partnership that characterizes successful ancient households, strengthened by daily routines and shared responsibilities that create mutual dependence and respect. Unlike modern romantic relationships that may prioritize emotional satisfaction over practical considerations, ancient marriages focus primarily on cooperation that ensures family survival and prosperity. Economic cooperation between spouses requires coordination of individual skills and activities to maximize household productivity while maintaining efficient resource utilization. Each partner contributes specialized knowledge and abilities that complement the other's contributions, creating synergistic effects that produce better results than either could achieve alone. Mutual understanding develops through years of working together toward common goals while navigating challenges that require coordinated responses. Partners learn to anticipate each other's needs and reactions while developing communication systems that enable effective cooperation even under stressful conditions. After breakfast, Enlid Bani moves to his workshop, where the tools and materials of his trade await his attention. This room, slightly larger than their sleeping chamber, represents years of accumulated investment in equipment, knowledge, and reputation that enable him to create pottery that commands respect and good prices in competitive markets. Workshop organization reflects the potter's understanding of efficient workflow and quality control requirements. Tools are positioned for easy access during different phases of pottery creation, while materials are stored to maintain optimal condition for use. The physical arrangement of workspace elements affects both productivity and safety during potentially hazardous activities like kiln firing. Along one wall, shelves hold vessels in various stages of completion, each piece representing hours of skilled labor and careful attention to quality standards. Some pieces are still soft clay, shaped but not yet dried enough for firing. Others await decoration, their surfaces smooth and ready for the intricate patterns that mark them as products of Babylonian craftsmanship and artistic tradition. Production scheduling requires careful coordination of different phases in pottery creation to ensure steady output while maintaining quality standards. Drying times, firing schedules, and decoration requirements must be balanced to optimize workspace utilization while preventing bottlenecks that could delay completion of customer orders. Quality control throughout the production process prevents waste of time and materials while maintaining the reputation for excellence that attracts customers and commands premium prices. Each stage of pottery creation requires inspection and decision-making about whether pieces meet standards for advancement to the next phase or require correction or rejection. Investment in workshop equipment and materials represents significant capital that must generate adequate returns to support family welfare while providing funds for business expansion and improvement. Pottery tools, clay supplies, fuel for firing, and decorative materials all require ongoing expenditure that must be balanced against income from sales. The clay he prepared yesterday evening waits in perfect consistency, covered with damp cloths that maintain optimal moisture content while preventing contamination from dust or insects. He had worked it carefully the previous day, kneading out air bubbles and achieving the smooth plastic texture that experienced potters recognize by touch alone and that enables superior results in wheel throwing and hand-building techniques. Clay preparation represents one of the most critical aspects of pottery making, as the quality of finished pieces depends heavily on proper material preparation. Clay that contains air bubbles will crack during firing, while clay with inappropriate moisture content will be difficult to shape and may collapse during forming. Proper preparation requires both technical knowledge and practical experience with local clay sources. The kneading process, known as wedging, requires physical strength and endurance as the potter works to achieve uniform consistency throughout the clay mass. This labor-intensive process cannot be rushed without compromising quality, making it one of the most demanding aspects of pottery preparation. Experienced potters develop efficient techniques that minimize effort while ensuring thorough preparation. Moisture control during clay storage requires attention to environmental conditions and protective measures that prevent either drying out or oversaturation. Clay that becomes too dry will crack and become difficult to work, while overly wet clay will be too soft to hold shape during forming. Optimal moisture content varies depending on the intended use and working techniques to be employed. Clay aging improves working properties through chemical and physical changes that occur over time when clay is stored under proper conditions. Aged clay becomes more plastic and responsive to shaping, while also developing improved strength characteristics that reduce the likelihood of cracking during drying and firing. Many potters prefer to age their clay for weeks or months before use. His hands know this material intimately, understanding how it responds to pressure, how it moves when spun on the wheel, and how much water it can hold before becoming too soft to work effectively. This tactile knowledge develops through years of experience and cannot be learned quickly or from written instructions alone. The relationship between potter and clay represents one of the most fundamental aspects of successful ceramic craftsmanship. Tactile sensitivity allows experienced potters to detect subtle variations in clay behavior that indicate when adjustments are needed in technique or materials. Changes in temperature, humidity, or clay composition affect working properties in ways that can only be detected through touch. This sensitivity enables potters to adapt their methods continuously to achieve optimal results. Understanding clay behavior requires knowledge of the material's physical and chemical properties, as well as how these properties change under different conditions. Factors like particle size, mineral content, and organic additives all affect clay performance in ways that experienced potters learn to recognize and accommodate in their working methods. Water content management during pottery creation requires constant attention and adjustment as environmental conditions change throughout the day. Too little water makes clay difficult to shape, while too much water causes pieces to collapse or distort. Skilled potters develop intuitive sense for proper water content that enables them to maintain optimal working conditions. He settles at his potter's wheel, a simple but effective device consisting of two stone discs connected by a wooden shaft that allows the upper disc to rotate smoothly while the potter shapes clay on its surface. The wheel must be turned by hand or foot, requiring steady rhythm that becomes second nature to experienced craftsmen and enables the creation of symmetrical vessels with thin walls and precise proportions. The potter's wheel represents one of humanity's earliest mechanical devices, revolutionizing ceramic production by enabling the creation of symmetrical vessels with thin walls that would be impossible to achieve through hand-building techniques alone. The invention of the wheel marked a significant advancement in pottery technology that improved both efficiency and quality of ceramic production. Wheel operation requires coordination between the potter's hands and feet, as speed control affects clay behavior during shaping. Too fast rotation can cause clay to fly apart from centrifugal force, while too slow rotation makes it difficult to achieve smooth, even surfaces. Experienced potters develop precise control over wheel speed that enables optimal results for different types of work. The mechanical simplicity of ancient potters' wheels makes them reliable and easy to maintain, while providing all the functionality needed for sophisticated pottery creation. The design has remained essentially unchanged for thousands of years because it efficiently solves the basic requirements of ceramic production without unnecessary complexity that could create maintenance problems. Wheel maintenance requires attention to bearing surfaces, lubrication, and alignment to ensure smooth operation and prevent excessive wear. Proper maintenance extends wheel life while ensuring consistent performance that enables high-quality work. Many potters build and maintain their own wheels, developing intimate knowledge of the equipment that supports their livelihood. As he begins to work, his movements are practiced and masterful, born of years of experience and countless vessels shaped by his skilled hands. The rhythm of wheel turning coordinates with hand movements in patterns that have become automatic through repetition. This muscle memory enables complex shaping operations while freeing the potter's conscious mind to focus on design decisions and quality assessment. Muscle memory development requires thousands of repetitions before movements become truly automatic and reliable. Beginning potters must concentrate intensely on basic operations that experienced craftsmen perform without conscious thought. This progression from conscious effort to unconscious competence characterizes the development of all complex manual skills. The integration of physical and mental aspects of pottery creation enables experienced craftsmen to work efficiently while maintaining high-quality standards. Physical skills provide the foundation for creative expression, while artistic vision guides the application of technical abilities to create objects that satisfy both functional and aesthetic requirements. Professional pottery work requires sustained concentration and physical stamina that develop through gradual conditioning and adaptation to craft demands. The ability to maintain quality standards throughout long work sessions separates professional craftsmen from hobbyists who may possess similar technical skills but lack the endurance required for productive commercial work. He forms a water vessel, watching as the clay rises between his fingers and takes shape as if it had always wanted to become this particular jar. Each movement is deliberate, the result of understanding built through repetition and refinement over decades of practice. The vessel's walls grow steadily upward, maintaining even thickness and smooth curves that demonstrate the potter's mastery of his craft. Water vessel creation requires careful attention to both functional and aesthetic requirements, as these pieces must perform reliably while pleasing the eye and hand of users. The walls must be thick enough to prevent breakage during normal use, but thin enough to minimize weight when filled. The shape must provide stability while enabling easy pouring and cleaning. Form development, during wheel throwing, requires continuous decision-making about proportions, wall thickness, and surface treatment that will affect both appearance and functionality of finished pieces. These decisions must be made quickly, while the clay remains workable, requiring experience and confidence that enable decisive action without hesitation. The potter's ability to visualize the finished piece while working with shapeless clay represents one of the most sophisticated aspects of ceramic craftsmanship. This visualization guides hand movements and design decisions while helping the potter maintain focus on overall objectives rather than getting lost in technical details. Surface quality during wheel throwing affects both the appearance and functionality of finished pottery. Smooth, even surfaces require careful control of hand pressure and wheel speed, while texture variations can be created deliberately to enhance visual interest or improve grip for handling. Achieving desired surface characteristics requires both technical skill and artistic sensitivity. As he works, small droplets of muddy water fly from the spinning wheel, creating a gentle spray that catches the morning light streaming through the workshop window. This spray is a natural byproduct of the wheel-throwing process, as water used to lubricate the clay during shaping is expelled by centrifugal force. The potter must maintain proper water balance to enable smooth shaping while preventing excessive mess in the workspace. Water management during wheel throwing requires constant attention to maintain optimal clay consistency throughout the forming process. Too little water causes clay to become sticky and difficult to shape, while too much water weakens the clay structure and can cause pieces to collapse. Experienced potters develop intuitive sense for proper water application that enables smooth, efficient work. Light quality in the workshop affects the potter's ability to assess proportions, surface quality, and other visual aspects of work in progress. Natural lighting from windows provides the best color rendition and shadow definition for evaluating ceramic work, while artificial lighting can distort appearance and lead to poor quality assessment. Workshop cleanup procedures must balance efficiency with thoroughness to maintain a productive work environment while preventing contamination of clay and tools. Water and clay residue must be managed carefully to prevent accumulation that could interfere with work or create unsanitary conditions. The creation of pottery represents a transformation of earth and water through human skill and intention, connecting the craftsman to fundamental creative forces that shape the material world. This transformation carries both practical and spiritual significance, as useful objects emerge from formless clay through the application of knowledge, skill, and artistic vision. Clay as a material connects potters to the earth itself, as ceramic clays are formed through geological processes that break down rock into fine particles that can be reshaped by human hands. This connection to natural forces gives pottery creation deep symbolic meaning that extends beyond mere craft production to encompass humanity's relationship with the natural world. The potter's role as transformer of raw materials into useful objects carries social responsibility for maintaining quality standards and meeting community needs for ceramic vessels. This responsibility connects individual craftsmen to larger social and economic systems while establishing reputation and status within the community hierarchy. Ishtar Bani begins her daily tasks while her husband works, starting with house cleaning that maintains both hygiene and order in their modest but well-organized home. This process involves more than simple sweeping, requiring systematic attention to all aspects of household maintenance that ensure healthy, comfortable living conditions for the family. Household maintenance in ancient Babylon requires daily attention to prevent the accumulation of dirt, pests, and odors that could affect both health and comfort. The dry climate creates constant dust infiltration, while cooking and daily activities generate debris that must be removed regularly to maintain livable conditions. She begins by gathering the sleeping mats and shaking them outside in the courtyard, allowing the morning air to freshen the woven reeds while removing dust and debris that accumulate during the night. This daily airing helps prevent the buildup of moisture and odors that could make sleeping uncomfortable while extending the useful life of expensive bedding materials. Mat maintenance requires regular cleaning and occasional replacement as wear and damage accumulate over time. The mats must be kept dry to prevent mold growth while being protected from insects that might damage the woven fibers. Proper care extends mat life while maintaining comfort and hygiene for sleeping areas. Bedding materials in ancient Babylon consist of natural fibers that require specific care techniques to maintain their properties and appearance. Woven reeds provide firm sleeping surfaces that remain cool in hot weather, while woolen blankets offer warmth during cooler periods. Both materials benefit from regular airing and cleaning to prevent deterioration. Then she sweeps the clay floor with a broom made from bundled twigs, working systematically from one end of the room to the other while collecting dust and debris in organized piles for removal. The broom itself represents careful selection and preparation of materials to create an effective cleaning tool from readily available natural resources. Broom construction requires knowledge of plant materials that provide effective sweeping action while remaining durable under regular use. Twigs from date palms or other trees are bundled together and bound with cord to create tools that can handle both fine dust and larger debris. Different twig types provide different cleaning properties depending on their stiffness and density. Floor sweeping techniques affect both cleaning efficiency and floor preservation, as improper sweeping can damage clay surfaces while failing to remove all debris. Systematic sweeping patterns ensure complete coverage while preventing the redistribution of dirt to previously cleaned areas. Proper technique also minimizes dust raising that could contaminate other areas. Debris removal requires planning for disposal methods that prevent contamination of living areas while making productive use of organic waste materials. Food scraps can be composted for garden use, while other organic debris can be used as fuel or animal feed. Efficient waste management reduces environmental impact while extracting value from discarded materials. Next comes the more laborious task of cleaning the floor properly, a process that requires water, scrubbing, and careful attention to surface condition. She sprinkles water from a ceramic vessel, then scrubs the surface with a cloth made from old linen that has been relegated to cleaning duties after years of service as household textile. The water helps loosen embedded dirt while binding dust particles for easier removal. The scrubbing action removes stains and worn areas that could harbor bacteria or create uneven surfaces that collect new debris. Clay floor maintenance represents a specialized skill that requires understanding of the material's properties and appropriate cleaning techniques. Clay surfaces can be damaged by excessive water or aggressive scrubbing, while inadequate cleaning allows contamination to build up over time. Proper maintenance preserves floor quality while ensuring sanitary living conditions. Water application during floor cleaning must be carefully controlled to provide adequate moisture for cleaning without oversaturating the clay surface. Too much water can soften clay floors and create muddy conditions, while too little water fails to achieve effective cleaning. Experienced housekeepers develop judgment about optimal water quantities for different cleaning needs. The scrubbing cloth requires regular cleaning and eventual replacement as it becomes too worn or contaminated for effective use. Old textiles provide economical cleaning materials while extending the useful life of household fabrics beyond their original purposes. This reuse reflects the efficient resource management that characterizes successful ancient households. Clay floors must be maintained regularly because foot traffic and spilled liquids can create uneven spots that collect dirt and debris while becoming increasingly difficult to clean. Regular maintenance prevents the development of permanent stains or damage that would require major repair work. Preventive care proves more economical than remedial measures. Once cleaned, she sprinkles fresh sand over the surface, creating a clean, level foundation for the day's activities while providing an absorbent layer that helps manage spills and moisture. The sand also improves traction on smooth clay surfaces while adding a decorative element that demonstrates household management skills. Sand selection for floor finishing requires knowledge of different sand types and their properties for household use. River sand, cleaned by water action, provides the best quality for indoor applications. Desert sand may contain salt or other materials that could damage clay surfaces. The grain size affects both appearance and functionality of the finished floor treatment. Sand application techniques affect both appearance and performance of the finished floor surface. Even distribution creates uniform appearance while ensuring consistent performance characteristics. Proper sand depth provides adequate absorption and cushioning without creating unstable walking surfaces or excessive maintenance requirements. Floor preparation establishes the foundation for all other household activities throughout the day, affecting both comfort and efficiency of domestic work. Clean, level floors make other tasks easier while creating pleasant living environments that support family welfare and demonstrate household management competence. She then hangs the bedding in the courtyard, carefully arranging the woolen blankets and linen sheets so that the morning sun and gentle breeze can freshen them while removing moisture and odors that might otherwise make sleeping uncomfortable. This daily ritual of airing bedding serves multiple functions beyond simple freshening, contributing to both hygiene and textile preservation. Bedding care in ancient Babylon requires attention to both immediate comfort needs and long-term preservation of valuable textile materials. Proper care extends the useful life of expensive bedding while maintaining the comfort and hygiene standards that support healthy sleep and family welfare. Textile preservation requires understanding of how different materials respond to environmental conditions and care techniques. Wool requires protection from insects and excessive moisture, while linen benefits from regular washing and sun exposure that helps maintain its natural properties. Different materials require different care approaches for optimal results. Sun exposure provides natural sanitization that kills bacteria and insects while helping to maintain textile freshness and appearance. Ultraviolet light from sunlight has disinfecting properties that reduce health risks while helping to maintain pleasant odors in bedding materials. However, excessive sun exposure can damage some textiles, requiring judgment about optimal exposure times. Air circulation during bedding care helps remove moisture that could lead to mold or mildew growth while providing the ventilation needed for natural drying processes. Proper positioning of bedding during airing maximizes air movement while protecting textiles from wind damage or contamination from dust and debris. Each task is performed slowly and thoughtfully, with the rhythm of a world where quality matters more than speed and where careful attention to detail prevents problems that could create much larger difficulties later. This deliberate pace reflects both practical necessity and cultural values that prize thoroughness over haste. Work pace in ancient households reflects the understanding that rushed work often creates more problems than it solves, while failing to achieve the quality standards that support long-term household welfare. Careful, systematic work practices prevent mistakes while ensuring superior results that justify the time investment required. Quality standards in household work affect both immediate comfort and long-term family welfare, as poor maintenance creates cumulative problems that become increasingly difficult and expensive to correct. High standards prevent minor issues from developing into major problems while demonstrating household management competence. Cultural values that emphasize quality over speed reflect the understanding that sustainable practices require attention to long-term consequences rather than short-term convenience. This perspective influences all aspects of ancient life, from craft production to household management to community relationships. Attention to detail in domestic work serves both practical and social functions, as household condition reflects on family status and management competence within the community. Well-maintained homes demonstrate prosperity and skill, while poorly maintained homes suggest either poverty or poor management that could affect social standing. As she works, Ishtar Bani can hear the sounds of her neighbors beginning their own daily routines, creating a symphony of domestic activity that reinforces community bonds while providing reassurance that normal life continues according to established patterns. These familiar sounds provide comfort and connection even when direct social interaction is not possible. Community rhythm development occurs through the coordination of individual household activities that create predictable patterns of sound and activity throughout residential areas. These patterns help residents coordinate their own activities while providing social connection through shared experiences and timing. From the house to her left comes the rhythmic thump of grain being pounded in a large stone mortar, the sound indicating that Nin Hersag, who has several children, is preparing the large quantities of flour needed for the day's bread baking. The steady rhythm of the pounding creates a natural timekeeper for the neighborhood while demonstrating the ongoing nature of essential food preparation activities. Grain processing represents one of the most time-consuming and physically demanding tasks performed by women in ancient households. The work requires sustained effort over extended periods, as sufficient flour for daily bread cannot be produced quickly. The sound of grain processing provides audible evidence of industrious household management while creating shared timing references for neighbors. Nin Hersag's situation illustrates the challenges faced by women with larger families, as more children mean more mouths to feed and greater demands on household food production systems. However, larger families also provide more labor for household tasks, and older children can contribute significantly to food preparation and other domestic work. Stone mortar maintenance requires attention to the grinding surface condition and proper cleaning to prevent contamination of processed grain. Worn or damaged mortars produce inferior flour while requiring more effort to operate effectively. Skilled stone workers can repair or improve mortar performance, making their services valuable to household operators. The sound is comforting rather than annoying, a reminder that all around her, other families are engaged in the same essential tasks of survival and sustenance, creating a sense of shared purpose and community solidarity that helps individuals cope with the challenges of daily life. Shared activity timing creates community bonds through synchronized experiences that reinforce social connections and mutual understanding. When neighbors engage in similar activities at similar times, they develop appreciation for each other's challenges while creating opportunities for mutual assistance and support. Community solidarity emerges from shared experiences and mutual dependence that characterize successful neighborhoods in ancient cities. Residents understand that their welfare depends partly on their neighbors' welfare, creating incentives for cooperation and mutual assistance that benefit everyone involved. From the right comes the softer sound of weaving, the gentle tap-tap of a loom as someone works threads into cloth with the patience and skill that characterizes master-level textile production. This is the home of an elderly woman who lives alone, supporting herself by creating fine textiles that she trades in the market for the goods and services she needs. Weaving sounds provide information about the type and quality of work being performed, as different techniques and materials create characteristic sound patterns. Experienced listeners can identify the type of loom being used, the weight of threads being woven, and sometimes even the skill level of the weaver, based on rhythm and consistency of the sounds. Elderly women in ancient Babylon often find economic opportunities in specialized crafts that take advantage of their accumulated skills and experience while accommodating reduced physical capacity for more demanding labor. Weaving represents an ideal occupation for older women who possess the knowledge and patience required for superior textile production. Living alone in ancient societies requires both economic resources and social connections that provide security and assistance when needed. Single elderly women must maintain income sources while building relationships that provide support during illness or other crises that could threaten their welfare and independence. Her work is known throughout the neighborhood for its quality and beauty, attracting customers who appreciate superior craftsmanship and are willing to pay premium prices for textiles that demonstrate both functional excellence and artistic achievement. Young women often seek her guidance in perfecting their own weaving skills, creating teaching relationships that benefit both parties. Master craftswoman Reputation develops through years of consistent quality production that builds customer loyalty while establishing credibility within professional communities. This reputation becomes a valuable business asset that commands premium prices while ensuring steady demand for products and services. Knowledge transmission between generations ensures that specialized skills and techniques continue to be available within communities, while providing income opportunities for older practitioners who may no longer be able to perform more physically demanding work. Teaching relationships create mutual benefits for both teachers and students. Textile quality assessment requires understanding of fiber characteristics, weaving techniques, and finishing processes that affect both appearance and durability of finished products. Customers who understand quality differences are willing to pay higher prices for superior textiles that provide better value through extended useful life and enhanced appearance. The sun climbs higher in the sky, bringing increased heat, while extending the period of good working light that enables detailed tasks requiring visual precision. The city comes fully alive as the morning progresses, with sounds from the marketplace drifting over courtyard walls, while various businesses and activities reach their daily peak activity levels. Daily activity patterns in ancient cities follow natural cycles that coordinate individual and community activities while optimizing productivity under environmental constraints. Morning hours provide cool temperatures, ideal for physical labor, while increasing light makes detailed visual work easier and more accurate. Marketplace sounds create a complex audio environment that provides information about commercial activity levels, price negotiations, and social interactions that characterize successful trading communities. Experienced listeners can interpret these sounds to understand market conditions and timing for their own commercial activities. The marketplace serves as the heart of Babylon's commercial life, where goods from across the known world change hands while information and ideas spread through the community. This commercial activity creates economic opportunities while fostering cultural exchange that enriches community life and provides access to products and knowledge from distant regions. Merchants' calls advertising their wares carry across the residential areas, informing potential customers about available products while creating competitive pressure that encourages quality improvements and fair pricing. These calls become part of the urban soundscape that residents learn to interpret and use for planning their own activities. Customer voices, engaged in bargaining sessions, provide evidence of active commerce while demonstrating the negotiation skills that characterize successful ancient trading relationships. The sound of successful bargaining indicates healthy economic activity that benefits both merchants and customers through fair exchanges. The footsteps of animals being led through the streets add to the complex rhythm of urban life, while indicating the movement of goods and services that support the city's economic functions. Different animals create characteristic sounds that provide information about the types of commerce being conducted and the scale of trading activities. Istarbani takes her basket, woven from reeds that grow abundantly along the riverbank and harvested during seasonal periods when the plants reach optimal maturity for craft use. The basket represents her own handiwork, created during the long winter evenings when outdoor work becomes impossible and indoor crafts provide productive activities that contribute to household welfare. Basket weaving represents an important household skill that contributes to family self-sufficiency while providing potential income through sales to neighbors who lack the time or skill to create their own carrying and storage containers. The ability to create quality baskets reduces household expenses while demonstrating craft competence. Reed harvesting requires knowledge of plant growth cycles and optimal cutting times that ensure materials suitable for weaving while avoiding damage to plant populations that could affect future harvests. Sustainable harvesting practices maintain resource availability while preventing environmental degradation that could threaten long-term supply sources. Winter craft activities provide productive uses for time when outdoor work is limited by weather conditions while creating household goods that support daily activities throughout the year. These indoor crafts often utilize materials gathered during warmer seasons, requiring planning and storage that coordinate seasonal activities effectively. The basket's pattern combines practical strength with decorative beauty, reflecting the Babylonian cultural belief that even utilitarian objects should please the eye while serving their functional purposes effectively. This integration of aesthetic and practical considerations characterizes ancient design principles that influence all forms of material culture. Decorative elements in utilitarian objects serve multiple functions beyond simple visual appeal, demonstrating the maker's skill while creating products that command higher prices and greater respect from users. Beauty in everyday objects enhances daily life while providing psychological benefits that contribute to overall welfare and satisfaction. Pattern design in basketry requires understanding of structural requirements that affect both strength and appearance of finished products. Decorative patterns must integrate with functional requirements to create products that perform reliably while displaying visual appeal that justifies the additional effort required for complex weaving. Cultural values that emphasize beauty in common objects reflect sophisticated understanding of how aesthetic quality affects psychological welfare and community pride. Societies that create beautiful everyday objects demonstrate cultural advancement while providing models for quality standards that influence all forms of production. She ventures out for daily shopping, joining the stream of residents who coordinate their market visits to take advantage of optimal timing for different types of purchases, while avoiding the crowds and heat that characterize less favorable shopping periods. This coordination reflects community knowledge about market patterns and merchant schedules. Shopping timing strategy requires understanding of merchant schedules, product availability patterns, and price variations that affect the value received from market visits. Experienced shoppers learn to coordinate their visits with optimal conditions for different types of purchases while avoiding periods when selection is limited or prices are unfavorable. Community coordination of market visits helps prevent overcrowding while ensuring that merchants have adequate customer flow to maintain viable businesses. This informal coordination emerges from shared experience and communication rather than formal scheduling, demonstrating the self-organizing capabilities of successful communities. Market participation represents both economic activity and social engagement that contributes to community welfare while providing individuals with access to goods and services that cannot be produced within individual households. Regular market participation maintains community connections while supporting the specialized production that enables urban prosperity. As she leaves the house, she observes the street conditions that affect both safety and comfort during her journey to the market. The street is dusty and narrow, barely wide enough for two loaded donkeys to pass each other safely, requiring attention and courtesy from all users to prevent accidents or conflicts that could disrupt community harmony. Urban street design in ancient Babylon reflects both space constraints and traffic management needs that balance efficiency with safety while accommodating various types of users, including pedestrians, loaded animals, and handcarts. Narrow streets require less valuable urban land while providing shade during hot weather, but they also create traffic management challenges. Dust accumulation on streets represents an ongoing urban maintenance challenge that affects both health and comfort for residents. The dust comes from multiple sources, including foot traffic, animal droppings, construction activities, and wind-blown sand from surrounding desert areas. Daily street cleaning is impractical, so residents must adapt to dusty conditions as normal urban life. Traffic coordination in narrow streets requires cooperation and communication between different users who must share limited space while maintaining movement efficiency. Courtesy and awareness become essential for preventing accidents while ensuring that all users can accomplish their transportation needs effectively. The houses are built close together, their walls sharing support, while creating intimate neighborhoods where privacy is minimal, but community bonds are strong. Each family lives in their own small world, yet the proximity means that joys and sorrows are quickly shared, creating social networks that provide both support and accountability for community members. Dense urban housing creates both advantages and disadvantages for residents, as proximity enables mutual assistance and security while reducing privacy and potentially increasing conflicts between neighbors. Successful dense communities develop social mechanisms that maximize benefits while minimizing problems associated with close living arrangements. Shared wall construction provides structural support while reducing building costs for individual families, but it also requires cooperation and coordination between neighbors regarding maintenance and modifications. This shared infrastructure creates mutual dependencies that encourage cooperation while potentially creating disputes over responsibilities and costs. Community bonds in dense neighborhoods develop through frequent interaction and mutual dependence that characterize daily life when people live in close proximity. These bonds provide social support systems that help individuals cope with life's challenges while creating accountability mechanisms that encourage appropriate behavior. Privacy limitations in dense communities require residents to develop social skills and tolerance that enable harmonious coexistence with neighbors who can observe and hear most daily activities. Cultural norms evolve to balance individual privacy needs with community social requirements. Each family's small world includes their immediate living space, plus the relationships and activities that define their daily experience, but the proximity to neighbors means that individual family worlds overlap and interconnect in complex ways that create larger community networks and shared experiences. Help availability during crises represents one of the major advantages of close-knit neighborhoods, as neighbors can provide immediate assistance during emergencies while sharing resources and knowledge that help families cope with various challenges. This mutual aid system provides security that isolated families cannot achieve independently. Her neighbors have already begun their own work activities, creating a mosaic of productive activity that demonstrates the diverse skills and occupations that characterize successful urban communities. Each household contributes different capabilities while depending on others for goods and services that cannot be produced internally. Economic diversity in urban neighborhoods creates resilience and prosperity through specialization that enables higher productivity while providing markets for various products and services. This specialization requires cooperation and exchange that bind communities together through mutual economic dependence. One woman sits in her doorway, working at a vertical loom that produces fine woolen cloth valued for both local use and trade with other communities. Her fingers move with practiced precision, selecting threads and passing them through the warp with movements so fluid they seem like a dance performed to music only she can hear. Doorway work locations provide good lighting while enabling social interaction with passers-by who can admire the work while engaging in conversations that strengthen community relationships. Working in visible locations also serves as advertising for skilled craftspeople who want to attract customers for their products and services. Loom operation requires both physical dexterity and mental concentration, as the weaver must maintain consistent tension while following complex patterns that may involve hundreds of individual decisions. Skilled weavers develop automatic responses to routine operations while maintaining focus on overall design objectives and quality standards. Finger precision in weaving develops through years of practice that creates muscle memory for complex manipulations while building the sensitivity needed to detect variations in thread tension and texture. This precision enables the creation of fine textiles that demonstrate master-level craftsmanship and command premium prices. Thread selection during weaving requires understanding of how different materials and colors will interact to create desired visual and tactile effects in finished cloth. Experienced weavers can visualize final results while making hundreds of individual thread choices that collectively determine fabric quality and appearance. Movement fluidity in skilled craftwork reflects the integration of physical and mental processes that characterizes expert performance in complex manual tasks. This fluidity develops through extensive practice that makes technical operations automatic while freeing conscious attention for creative and aesthetic decisions. The emerging pattern shows the geometric designs favored by Babylonian weavers, complex arrangements of lines and angles that create pleasing visual rhythms while demonstrating the mathematical understanding and artistic sensitivity that characterize sophisticated textile traditions. Geometric patterns in Babylonian textiles often carry symbolic meanings related to religious beliefs, family identity, or regional traditions, while providing visual appeal that enhances the value and desirability of finished products. These patterns require precise execution that demonstrates weaver skill and cultural knowledge. Mathematical understanding and pattern design requires knowledge of proportion, symmetry, and repetition that creates visually harmonious results while enabling efficient use of materials and labor. Ancient weavers developed sophisticated design principles that rival modern mathematical approaches to pattern creation. Visual rhythm in textile patterns creates aesthetic effects that please the eye while providing psychological satisfaction that enhances the user's experience with finished products. Understanding how to create effective visual rhythms requires both technical skill and artistic sensitivity that develop through education and practice. Another neighbor works at grain grinding, operating a large stone quern that transforms whole grain into flour through patient application of physical effort. The upper stone is turned by a wooden handle that she rotates with steady pressure, requiring both strength and endurance to produce adequate quantities of flour for household bread making. Grain grinding represents one of the most physically demanding daily tasks performed by women in ancient households, requiring sustained effort over extended periods while maintaining consistent technique that produces uniform flour quality. This work builds physical strength while providing essential food preparation services. Stone quern operation requires understanding of proper technique that maximizes efficiency while preventing damage to equipment that represents significant household investment. Improper operation can damage grinding surfaces while producing inferior flour that affects bread quality and family nutrition. The wooden handle design affects both efficiency and comfort during extended grinding sessions, as proper ergonomics reduce fatigue while enabling sustained effort that produces adequate flour quantities. Handle maintenance requires attention to wear patterns and joint condition that affect operational effectiveness. Physical strength requirements for grain processing create challenges for households with limited adult labor capacity, while demonstrating the importance of cooperation and mutual assistance in communities where individual families cannot accomplish all necessary tasks independently. Flour quality depends on grinding technique, grain condition, and equipment maintenance that collectively determine the texture, purity, and nutritional value of finished flour used for bread making. Superior flour produces better bread while requiring greater skill and effort to achieve. The grain gradually breaks down into flour through mechanical action that crushes grain kernels while separating the nutritious interior from the less digestible outer hull. This process requires patience and persistence, as adequate quantities of flour cannot be produced quickly without damaging equipment or compromising quality. Flour production timing must coordinate with bread-making schedules to ensure fresh flour availability while preventing spoilage that could waste valuable grain resources. Daily grinding ensures optimal freshness while requiring significant time investment that must be balanced against other household responsibilities. The flour she produces will become bread, the foundation of every meal, and the substance that keeps families fed through the long months between harvests when fresh foods are scarce and stored grains provide the bulk of nutritional support for urban populations. Bread importance in ancient diets reflects both nutritional necessity and cultural significance, as bread provides the carbohydrate foundation that enables families to maintain energy levels while representing the transformation of raw grain into civilized food through human skill and effort. Seasonal food availability creates periods when bread becomes even more critical to family welfare, as fresh foods may be unavailable or prohibitively expensive during certain times of year. Bread provides reliable nutrition that sustains families through difficult periods while maintaining stable food costs. Harvest cycles determine grain availability and pricing that affect household food security throughout the year, making grain storage and bread making essential skills for family survival. Understanding these cycles enables families to plan food procurement and preservation activities effectively. Urban populations depend on bread more heavily than rural populations, who have greater access to fresh foods, making grain processing skills essential for city dwellers who cannot produce their own fresh foods but must rely on processed grains for nutritional support. An elderly man sits in the morning sun, his weathered hands working on a piece of leather that will become a sandal through careful cutting, stitching, and shaping that transforms raw hide into functional footwear. His tools are simple but effective: bronze awls for making holes, bone needles for stitching, and sharp flint blades for cutting leather with precision. Leatherworking requires knowledge of hide processing, tool use, and construction techniques that enable the creation of durable footwear capable of withstanding harsh environmental conditions while providing comfort and protection for users. Thus, specialized knowledge represents valuable craft skills that support community welfare. Tool simplicity in ancient crafts reflects both material limitations and design principles that emphasize functionality over complexity, while ensuring that tools can be maintained and replaced using available resources and skills. Simple tools often prove more reliable than complex alternatives, while requiring less specialized knowledge for effective use. Bronze awl effectiveness for leather piercing depends on proper point sharpening and handle design that enables controlled application of force while preventing tool damage during heavy use. Bronze tools maintain sharp points longer than stone alternatives, while resisting corrosion better than iron tools in many applications. Bone needle advantages for leather stitching include appropriate size and shape for threading through leather holes while maintaining flexibility that prevents breakage during the sewing process. Bone needles can be shaped precisely for specific applications while remaining available from readily accessible animal sources. Flint blade sharpness enables precise leather cutting that creates clean edges, essential for professional quality footwear construction. Skilled knappers can create blades sharper than metal alternatives, though flint requires more careful handling to prevent damage and maintain cutting effectiveness. Weathered hands demonstrate years of experience with craft requirements, while providing evidence of professional competence that customers recognize and value. Physical signs of craft experience serve as credentials in societies where formal certification systems do not exist, but where reputation depends on demonstrated ability. His work supports not only his own family's economic needs, but also provides essential footwear for neighbors who lack the specialized skills or time required to create their own shoes, demonstrating how craft specialization creates mutual dependence and economic opportunity within communities. Craft specialization enables higher productivity and quality than households could achieve through individual effort, while creating economic niches that support family welfare through the provision of goods and services that other community members need but cannot produce efficiently themselves. Community interdependence through specialized production creates economic networks that bind neighborhoods together while providing security through diversified economic opportunities that reduce dependence on single income sources or economic activities that might prove unreliable. Footwear needs in ancient communities require specialized knowledge of construction techniques, material selection, and fitting procedures that most individuals cannot master while maintaining their primary occupations, creating opportunities for dedicated craftspeople who focus on footwear production and repair. Walking toward the market, Ishtar Bani feels the enormity of the city around her, while simultaneously experiencing the intimacy that comes from knowing specific individuals and businesses that provide the goods and services her family needs. Babylon is a massive settlement, home to tens of thousands of people and representing one of the world's largest urban concentrations of its time. Urban scale in ancient Babylon represents remarkable organizational achievement that requires sophisticated systems for resource management, social coordination, and infrastructure maintenance that enable large populations to live together successfully while maintaining prosperity and stability that attracts continued growth and development. City intimacy within large urban environments develops through repeated interactions and established relationships that create personal connections despite the anonymous nature of large population centers. These personal relationships provide both economic advantages and social support that help individuals navigate urban complexity. Yet despite its enormous size, the city maintains familiar qualities that make it feel manageable and comprehensible to residents who develop knowledge of local areas and relationships that provide security and efficiency in daily activities. This familiarity emerges from regular patterns of movement and interaction that create personal geography within the larger urban landscape. Personal knowledge of merchants and service providers creates advantages in quality, pricing, and service that reward loyalty while reducing the uncertainty that characterizes transactions with unknown parties. These relationships represent valuable social capital that families cultivate and maintain through consistent interaction and fair dealing. She knows the baker whose bread she prefers for its superior texture and flavor, the metalworker who creates the finest bronze implements using techniques passed down through family generations, and the woman who sells pottery glazes that enable decorative treatments, enhancing the value of her husband's ceramic work. Merchant familiarity enables customers to make informed choices about quality and value while providing merchants with reliable customer bases that support business stability and growth. These relationships often extend beyond simple commercial transactions to include social interaction and mutual assistance during difficult times. Quality assessment skills developed through experience with different suppliers and products that enable customers to recognize superior offerings while understanding fair pricing for various quality levels. This knowledge protects families from poor purchases while ensuring appropriate value for household expenditures. Specialty knowledge about craft materials and techniques enables informed purchasing decisions that support family businesses while ensuring access to materials that enable superior work quality. Understanding supplier capabilities helps families coordinate their production activities with material availability and quality requirements. The streets themselves tell the story of Babylon's growth and prosperity through their design, construction quality, and maintenance standards that reflect both engineering capabilities and administrative organization required to support large urban populations effectively. Street design evolution reflects changing urban needs and improved engineering knowledge that enable better traffic flow, drainage management, and structural durability while accommodating growth in population and economic activity that characterizes successful cities. Construction quality in urban infrastructure demonstrates both technical capabilities and administrative commitment to creating built environments that support long-term prosperity and growth rather than short-term expediency that might create future problems and maintenance costs. Maintenance standards for public infrastructure require organizational systems and resource allocation that reflect community priorities and administrative effectiveness while demonstrating the capacity to sustain urban prosperity through continued investment in essential systems. The main thoroughfares are wide enough for wheeled traffic and paved with stones that can withstand the weight of heavy carts carrying goods between different parts of the city. These major streets connect important areas like the palace, temples, and markets while providing the transportation infrastructure that enables efficient commerce and administration. Traffic capacity planning requires understanding of transportation needs that balance efficiency with cost, while ensuring adequate access for different types of users, including pedestrians, animal-drawn vehicles, and ceremonial processions that serve various urban functions. Stone paving represents significant public investment that demonstrates city prosperity while providing infrastructure that supports commercial activity through improved transportation efficiency and reduced maintenance requirements compared to unpaved alternatives. Weight-bearing requirements for urban streets must accommodate the heaviest loads likely to use the transportation system while providing durability that justifies the investment in improved construction compared to simpler alternatives that might require frequent repair or replacement. Connection planning for major streets requires strategic thinking about urban organization that facilitates movement between important destinations while creating efficient networks that minimize travel time and transportation costs for users engaged in various activities. Smaller streets branch off from these arteries, creating a hierarchical network that connects residential areas with commercial districts, while providing access to individual properties without requiring expensive infrastructure investment for areas that generate less traffic and economic activity. Street hierarchy development enables efficient resource allocation that provides appropriate infrastructure for different usage levels while creating urban organization that supports both commercial activity and residential quality of life through proper separation and integration of different functions. Residential access requirements differ from commercial needs in terms of traffic volume, infrastructure requirements, and maintenance standards, enabling cities to provide appropriate services while controlling costs through differentiated investment strategies that match infrastructure to actual needs. Network efficiency in urban street systems requires strategic planning that minimizes travel distances while avoiding congestion that could impair economic activity and urban functionality. Successful networks balance direct access with traffic management to optimize overall system performance. As she walks, Ishtarbani passes the great ziggurat that dominates the city's skyline like a man-made mountain rising from the urban landscape. This massive stepped pyramid represents one of humanity's most ambitious architectural achievements, while serving as both temple and symbol of the civilization that created it. Ziggurat architecture represents the pinnacle of Mesopotamian building technology, combining engineering expertise with religious symbolism to create structures that serve both practical and spiritual functions, while demonstrating the organizational capacity and cultural sophistication of the societies that built them. The structure rises from the city center in a series of receding platforms, each level smaller than the one below, creating a pyramidal form that reaches toward the heavens while providing stable foundations capable of supporting enormous weight over extended periods. Step design principles in ziggurat construction provide structural stability while creating symbolic representations of the connection between earth and heaven that characterizes Mesopotamian religious beliefs. Each level represents a stage in the spiritual journey that connects human communities to divine realms. Platform construction requires sophisticated engineering knowledge about foundation design, weight distribution, and structural stability that enables these massive buildings to survive for thousands of years despite earthquake activity and environmental stresses that have destroyed many other ancient structures. Its mud brick walls are faced with glazed tiles that gleam in the sunlight, creating visual effects that can be seen from great distances while demonstrating the artistic capabilities and material resources that ancient civilizations could mobilize for important construction projects. Glazed tile production requires advanced ceramic technology and artistic skills that enable the creation of decorative surfaces resistant to weather while providing visual appeal that enhances the symbolic impact of important buildings. This technology represents significant technological and artistic achievement. Visual impact from distance serves both practical and symbolic functions, as the ziggurat provides a landmark for navigation while demonstrating the power and prosperity of the civilization that created it. The building's visibility reinforces its role as a symbol of cultural achievement and divine connection. Sunlight reflection from glazed surfaces creates dynamic visual effects that change throughout the day, while enhancing the building's symbolic representation of divine radiance and spiritual illumination. These effects add to the psychological impact of the structure on viewers. Material resources required for ziggurat construction demonstrate the economic capacity and organizational ability of ancient civilizations while reflecting the priority placed on religious architecture that serves both spiritual and civic functions within urban communities. The ziggurat serves as both temple and symbol, providing space for religious activities while representing the god's presence and the king's power in ways that reinforce social order and cultural identity throughout the urban community. Religious functions of ziggurats include temple services, festival celebrations, and ritual activities that maintain community connections to protective deities while providing spiritual guidance and support for individuals and families facing life's challenges and uncertainties. Symbolic representation, through monumental architecture, communicates cultural values and political messages that reinforce social hierarchy, while inspiring community pride and cultural identity that help maintain social cohesion and political stability. Royal power demonstration, through religious architecture, creates connections between earthly and divine authority that legitimize political rule while providing visible evidence of royal capabilities and commitment to community welfare through investment in religious infrastructure. The structure serves as a landmark visible from every part of the city, helping residents navigate while providing a constant reminder of the divine protection and cultural achievements that define their community identity and distinguish their civilization from others. Navigation assistance from prominent landmarks enables efficient movement through urban environments while reducing the confusion that could result from purely street-based navigation systems in large complex cities where individual areas might appear similar to unfamiliar visitors. Divine reminder functions help maintain religious observance and cultural identity through constant visual reinforcement of spiritual beliefs and community values that influence daily behavior and decision-making throughout the urban population. Community identity formation, through shared landmarks, creates psychological connections between individuals and their urban environment while fostering pride and loyalty that contribute to social stability and cultural continuity across generations of residents. Cultural distinction through monumental architecture enables communities to express their unique identity and achievements, while creating visual symbols that distinguish their civilization from neighboring cultures and demonstrate their particular contributions to human development. When she reaches the market, Ishtarbani encounters a sensory feast that assaults the senses in the most pleasant way possible. The marketplace represents a convergence of commerce, culture, and community that brings together the diverse products and peoples that characterize Babylon's position as a major trading center. Market's sensory environment combines visual, auditory, and olfactory elements that create rich, complex experiences that stimulate and engage visitors while providing information about product quality, merchant capabilities, and market conditions that affect purchasing decisions and social interactions. The marketplace is a vast open area surrounded by permanent stalls and temporary booths where merchants display their wares using techniques designed to attract customers while protecting goods from weather and theft. This physical organization enables efficient commerce while providing flexibility for different types of merchants and seasonal variations. Permanent stall construction provides stable locations for established merchants while offering protection for valuable goods and creating environments that enable effective customer service and product display. These structures represent significant investment in commercial infrastructure that supports long-term business success. Temporary booth flexibility enables new merchants and seasonal traders to participate in market activities while providing space for merchants who cannot afford permanent locations or who serve markets that do not require full-time presence. This flexibility enhances market diversity and competition. Merchant display techniques affect both product protection and sales effectiveness, as attractive presentations draw customer attention, while proper storage prevents deterioration that could reduce product value and merchant reputation. Successful display strategies balance visual appeal with practical protection requirements. The variety of goods available is staggering, reflecting Babylon's position as a crossroads of ancient trade routes that bring together products from across the known world. Fresh vegetables from the river's fertile banks occupy stalls next to exotic spices from distant mountains, and manufactured goods created by local craftsmen using both indigenous and imported materials. Product diversity in major markets creates opportunities for customers to acquire goods that would be unavailable in smaller communities, while providing merchants with access to customers who appreciate and can afford specialized products that command premium prices. Trade route convergence enables cities like Babylon to serve as distribution centers for goods moving between different regions, while creating opportunities for local merchants to participate in international commerce that brings prosperity and cultural exchange to urban communities. Local production capability, combined with imported goods, creates economic opportunities for craftsmen who can add value to raw materials while providing customers with finished products that combine local skills with exotic materials that enhance both functionality and appeal. Geographic advantages of location enable certain cities to develop commercial importance that extends far beyond their immediate regions, while creating economic foundations that support large populations and sophisticated cultural development through access to resources and markets. Fresh vegetables from local agricultural areas display the bounty of Mesopotamian farming systems that support urban populations through intensive cultivation techniques that maximize productivity from limited irrigated land near major rivers and cities. Agricultural productivity near urban areas requires sophisticated farming techniques and land management systems that coordinate rural production with urban consumption needs, while maintaining soil fertility and water access that enable sustained food production over extended periods. Exotic spices from distant regions represent some of the most valuable trade goods in ancient commerce, commanding high prices while providing customers with access to flavor enhancement and medicinal substances that improve both culinary quality and health outcomes for those who can afford them. International trade networks enable the movement of valuable but portable goods across vast distances, while creating economic opportunities for merchants who understand market demands and can manage the risks associated with long-distance commerce in uncertain political and environmental conditions. Manufactured goods from local craftsmen demonstrate the skilled production capabilities that enable urban communities to create value-added products from both local and imported raw materials, while providing employment and economic opportunities for specialized workers who serve both local and export markets. Value-added production enables communities to capture greater economic benefits from raw materials while developing specialized skills and techniques that create competitive advantages in regional and international markets that reward innovation and quality. Everything is traded through barter, the ancient system that predates coined money and requires extensive knowledge of relative values between different types of goods. Merchants accept payment in grain, oil, wool, or finished goods with established exchange rates that everyone understands through community experience and ongoing market negotiations. Barter system operation requires sophisticated understanding of relative values that change based on supply and demand conditions, seasonal availability, and quality variations that affect the desirability and utility of different goods offered in exchange transactions. Exchange rate establishment emerges from community consensus about fair trading relationships while reflecting actual supply and demand conditions that determine how much of one good should be exchanged for specified quantities of another good in transactions that satisfy both parties. Community knowledge about fair trading practices develops through repeated market interactions and shared experience with different merchants and products that create informal standards for evaluating exchange proposals and detecting attempts at unfair dealing. Market negotiation processes enable buyers and sellers to reach mutually acceptable agreements while providing flexibility to accommodate quality variations, quantity requirements, and individual circumstances that affect the value of goods offered in specific transactions. There are silver pieces, small bits of precious metal, that serve as a medium of exchange for larger transactions where direct barter becomes impractical due to the quantities or types of goods involved. However, most daily commerce continues to rely on direct goods exchange rather than metal currency systems. Precious metal currency provides solutions for complex transactions involving multiple parties or goods that cannot be easily divided or transported, while maintaining value storage capabilities that enable wealth accumulation and transfer across time and geographic distances. Large transaction requirements sometimes exceed the practical limits of direct barter when the quantities or values involved make it difficult to arrange satisfactory exchanges using available goods that either party can readily accept or utilize effectively. Direct exchange limitations include the need for double coincidence of wants, divisibility problems with certain goods, and storage or transportation difficulties that make some barter arrangements impractical, despite theoretical equivalence in value between goods offered by different parties. Daily commerce preferences for direct exchange reflect both practical considerations and cultural familiarity with traditional trading methods that provide transparency and immediate satisfaction for both parties while avoiding complications associated with currency systems that require trust in monetary tokens. The vegetable seller's stall displays the full bounty of Mesopotamian agriculture through careful arrangement of fresh produce that demonstrates both the fertility of local growing conditions and the skill of farmers who maximize productivity from irrigated fields near urban markets. Agricultural bounty demonstration through market displays serves both commercial and social functions, as attractive presentations encourage purchases while providing evidence of community prosperity and successful farming practices that support urban populations through reliable food production. Onions hang in braided strings, their papery skins rustling in the morning breeze while providing natural preservation that extends storage life and enables transportation without damage to the edible portions that provide both nutrition and flavoring for household cooking throughout the year. Braiding techniques for onion storage represent traditional preservation methods that prevent spoilage while creating attractive displays that demonstrate product quality and merchant attention to proper handling practices that maintain freshness and visual appeal for customers. Papery skin protection serves natural preservation functions while providing visual cues about freshness and quality that enable customers to make informed purchasing decisions based on appearance factors that correlate with taste, texture, and storage potential of vegetables. Morning breeze effects on display create natural ventilation that helps maintain freshness while providing sensory experiences that enhance the appeal of market visits through pleasant environmental conditions that make shopping more enjoyable and comfortable. Garlic bulbs are arranged in neat pyramids that showcase their uniform size and quality while creating visually appealing displays that attract customer attention and demonstrate the merchant's commitment to product presentation and quality standards. Pyramid arrangements provide stable display structures while maximizing visual impact through geometric patterns that please the eye while enabling customers to assess product quality and select items that meet their specific needs and quality requirements. Uniform sizing in garlic displays indicates careful selection and grading practices that ensure consistent quality while enabling customers to make purchasing decisions based on reliable expectations about the products they receive in exchange for their payment. Visual appeal in product presentation affects customer attitudes and purchasing decisions while demonstrating merchant professionalism and attention to quality that builds trust and encourages repeat business relationships that benefit both parties over extended periods. Quality demonstration through careful presentation helps customers understand product value while providing merchants with opportunities to justify pricing that reflects superior quality and handling practices that maintain freshness and appeal throughout the marketing process. Their pungent aroma, mixing with the scents of fresh herbs, creates a complex olfactory environment that stimulates appetite while providing information about product freshness and quality that customers use to evaluate potential purchases and merchant reliability. Aromatic complexity in market environments enhances the sensory experience of shopping while providing natural quality indicators that help customers assess freshness and identify products that meet their cooking and flavoring requirements for household meal preparation. Appetite stimulation through pleasant food aromas encourages purchasing while creating positive associations with market visits that contribute to customer satisfaction and loyalty while supporting merchant sales objectives through enhanced product appeal. Quality indication through aroma provides immediate sensory feedback about product condition while enabling customers to make informed decisions without requiring detailed examination that might be time-consuming or inappropriate in busy market environments. Freshness assessment through smell enables customers to distinguish between recently harvested products and older items that may have lost quality during storage or transportation, while helping merchants maintain reputation for providing superior products that justify premium pricing. Leafy greens, still damp with river water, promise crisp texture and sharp flavor, while demonstrating recent harvest and proper handling that maintains nutritional value and eating quality that customers expect from fresh vegetables purchased in competitive market environments. River water dampness indicates recent washing and freshness while providing natural preservation that prevents wilting and maintains the crisp texture that characterizes high-quality leafy vegetables valued for both nutritional content and culinary applications. Texture promises based on appearance enable customers to anticipate eating experiences while providing merchants with opportunities to highlight quality features that distinguish their products from competitors who may offer similar items at comparable prices. Flavor expectations created by visual cues help customers make purchasing decisions while enabling merchants to communicate product benefits without extensive verbal explanations that might be impractical in busy market environments where efficiency is important. Recent harvest indicators, such as moisture content, color intensity, and structural integrity, provide customers with information about product quality while demonstrating merchant attention to sourcing practices that ensure superior offerings for discerning customers. Root vegetables, recently pulled from the dark earth, bear the honest soil of their growing places while providing evidence of local production that supports community agriculture and reduces transportation costs that might otherwise affect product pricing and availability. Growing place evidence connects customers to agricultural sources while providing assurance about product authenticity and freshness that cannot be achieved with goods that have traveled long distances or been stored for extended periods before reaching market. Local production support, through purchasing decisions, helps maintain agricultural capacity near urban areas while reducing transportation costs and environmental impacts associated with long-distance food distribution that might affect both pricing and quality. Honest soil presence demonstrates recent harvest and minimal processing while providing visual evidence of natural growing conditions that many customers associate with superior nutritional value and authentic flavors compared to heavily processed alternatives. Community agriculture maintenance, through local purchasing patterns, helps ensure continued food security while supporting rural families who provide essential services to urban populations through specialized agricultural production that requires knowledge and investment. Transportation cost reduction through local sourcing enables competitive pricing while ensuring product freshness that might be compromised during long-distance shipping that exposes produce to environmental stresses and handling that could affect quality and appearance. Ishtar Bani approaches the vegetable seller, an old man whose family has worked this same market location for 3 generations, creating continuity and trust that benefits both merchant and customers through established relationships and proven reliability in product quality and fair dealing. Generational continuity in market locations provides stability for both merchants and customers, while enabling the development of expertise and reputation that create competitive advantages based on accumulated knowledge and proven performance over extended periods. Family business traditions create reliability expectations while providing merchants with established customer relationships and local knowledge that enable superior service through understanding of community needs and preferences developed through years of market experience. Trust development through long-term relationships reduces transaction costs while improving customer satisfaction through reliable quality and fair pricing that reflects mutual respect and understanding, built through repeated successful interactions over extended periods. Market location. Stability enables merchants to develop specialized knowledge about customer preferences while providing customers with predictable access to trusted suppliers who understand their needs and maintain quality standards that justify continued loyalty and support. Proven reliability through consistent performance creates customer confidence while enabling merchants to command premium prices for superior service and quality that customers recognize and value based on personal experience with products and services received over time. His weathered face breaks into a smile when he sees her approaching, reflecting personal recognition and genuine pleasure in serving a valued customer whose business and friendship have contributed to his family's prosperity and community standing over many years. Personal recognition in commercial relationships enhances customer experience while providing merchants with opportunities to offer customized service that meets individual needs and preferences better than anonymous transactions that lack context about customer history and requirements. Valued customer treatment reflects both commercial wisdom and genuine human connection that makes market visits more pleasant while encouraging continued patronage that supports merchant prosperity through stable income and positive reputation within the community. Friendship development through repeated commercial interaction creates social bonds that extend beyond simple business relationships while providing both parties with additional sources of personal satisfaction and community connection that enrich daily life experiences. Business contribution recognition acknowledges the mutual benefits that characterize successful long-term commercial relationships while demonstrating appreciation for customer loyalty that helps merchants maintain stable operations and plan for future growth and development. Community standing enhancement through successful business relationships provides social benefits that extend beyond immediate commercial gains while creating networks of mutual support and recognition that contribute to overall quality of life and social satisfaction. Their relationship extends beyond simple commerce, embodying personal history and mutual respect that have developed through years of interaction. He remembers her as a young bride, nervous about her first independent shopping trip, while she has observed his progression from vigorous young merchant to experienced elder who commands respect throughout the market community. Commercial relationship evolution demonstrates how business interactions can develop into meaningful personal connections that provide both parties with social satisfaction while maintaining professional standards that ensure fair dealing and mutual benefit over extended periods. Personal history awareness creates context for current interactions while providing both parties with shared memories and experiences that enhance communication and understanding beyond what would be possible in purely anonymous commercial transactions. Mutual respect development reflects the recognition of each party's competence and integrity while creating foundations for continued cooperation that benefits both merchant and customer through reliable service and loyal patronage that support stable business relationships. Nervous bride memories illustrate personal growth and development while providing context for current confidence and competence that demonstrate how individuals mature and develop skills through experience and practice in various life activities, including household management and market navigation. Progression observation enables customers to appreciate merchant development while creating personal connections that transcend simple business relationships and contribute to community bonds that strengthen social fabric and provide mutual support networks. Market community respect reflects professional achievement and personal character while providing merchants with social capital that enhances business success through reputation and status that attract customers and create competitive advantages in marketplace environments. Now she is an experienced housewife who knows quality when she sees it and can bargain with the best of them, demonstrating skill development that enables effective market participation while commanding respect from merchants who recognize competence and fair dealing in customer interactions. Experience development through practice enables individuals to improve their capabilities while building confidence that supports effective performance in various life activities, including commercial transactions that require knowledge, skill, and social competence. Quality recognition skills protect consumers from poor purchases while enabling appreciation of superior products that justify premium pricing through enhanced value that meets customer needs and expectations better than inferior alternatives. Bargaining competence ensures fair pricing while demonstrating respect for commercial traditions that require negotiation skills and understanding of market conditions that affect the relative value of goods offered in exchange transactions. Merchant recognition of customer competence creates mutual respect while enabling more efficient transactions that satisfy both parties through understanding of quality standards and fair pricing that reflect actual product value and market conditions. Fair dealing reputation attracts merchant cooperation while ensuring access to quality products and services that might not be available to customers who lack established relationships or demonstrated integrity in commercial transactions. She examines his offerings with the critical eye of someone who understands ingredient quality and cooking requirements, assessing not only appearance but also factors like storage potential, cooking characteristics, and flavor development that affect the utility and satisfaction provided by different vegetables. Critical assessment skills develop through experience with cooking and food preparation while enabling informed purchasing decisions that maximize value and satisfaction from market visits through selection of products that meet specific household needs and quality requirements. Ingredient quality understanding requires knowledge of how different vegetables respond to cooking methods while enabling prediction of final results based on appearance and texture characteristics that indicate freshness, maturity, and potential cooking performance. Cooking requirement consideration helps ensure that purchased vegetables will perform satisfactorily in planned meals, while preventing waste and disappointment that could result from inappropriate selection of products that do not meet specific culinary needs. Storage potential assessment enables planning for future use, while ensuring that purchased quantities can be properly preserved until needed, without spoilage that would waste money and require additional shopping trips that consume time and effort. Flavor development prediction based on appearance enables selection of vegetables that will provide desired taste experiences while avoiding products that might disappoint or require additional seasoning that increases meal preparation costs and complexity. The onions should be firm and heavy, with dry outer skins and no soft spots that indicate rot or improper storage conditions that could affect both immediate eating quality and storage potential for household use over extended periods. Firmness assessment indicates freshness and proper maturity, while providing information about storage potential and cooking characteristics that affect the utility and satisfaction provided by onions in various culinary applications throughout household meal preparation. Weight evaluation helps determine moisture content and density while providing information about nutritional value and cooking yield that affects the actual value received from purchases compared to alternatives that might appear similar but provide less utility. Dry skin condition indicates proper curing and storage while providing protection against moisture and contamination that could cause spoilage and reduce storage life of onions purchased for household use over extended periods. Soft spot detection prevents purchase of damaged products while ensuring that household food supplies maintain quality and safety standards that protect family health while maximizing value received from market expenditures. Rote indication recognition protects against purchase of deteriorated products while demonstrating quality assessment skills that enable effective market participation and help maintain household food security through reliable ingredient procurement. The garlic cloves should be plump and solid, free from the green shoots that suggest age and declining quality, while indicating storage conditions that might affect flavor, texture, and nutritional value of this important seasoning ingredient. Plumpness assessment indicates proper development and freshness while providing information about flavor intensity and cooking characteristics that affect the utility and satisfaction provided by garlic in various culinary applications. Solidity evaluation helps determine moisture content and storage potential while providing information about quality and freshness that affects both immediate use and longer-term storage possibilities for household cooking needs. Green shoot absence indicates proper storage and handling, while ensuring that purchased garlic will provide expected flavor and texture characteristics without off-tastes or undesirable textures that could affect meal quality and family satisfaction. Age indication recognition through visual cues enables informed purchasing decisions while helping customers avoid products that have deteriorated during storage or transportation and might not provide expected quality and performance. Quality decline awareness protects against disappointing purchases while ensuring that household cooking ingredients meet standards that enable successful meal preparation and family satisfaction with food quality and flavor. The herbs should be bright in color and crisp to the touch, with the intense fragrance that comes from recent harvesting and proper handling that preserves the essential oils and nutritional compounds that provide both flavor and health benefits. Color brightness indicates freshness and proper handling while providing visual cues about nutritional value and flavor intensity that affect the utility and satisfaction provided by herbs in cooking applications. Crispness assessment, through touch, provides information about moisture content and storage conditions while indicating freshness and quality that affect both immediate use and storage potential for household cooking needs. Intense fragrance indicates proper harvesting timing and handling while providing evidence of essential oil content that determines flavor and aromatic qualities valued in culinary applications. Recent harvesting evidence ensures maximum freshness and potency while providing customers with products that deliver expected flavor and nutritional benefits without deterioration that could affect cooking results and family satisfaction. Essential oil preservation, through proper handling, maintains the flavor and aromatic qualities that make herbs valuable, while ensuring that customers receive full value from their purchases through products that perform as expected in cooking applications. She selects her vegetables carefully, choosing quantities that will feed her household for several days while balancing freshness requirements against storage capabilities and meal planning needs that determine optimal purchasing quantities for different types of produce. Careful selection ensures optimal value while preventing waste and ensuring that household food supplies meet quality standards that support family nutrition and satisfaction with meals prepared using purchased ingredients. Quantity planning requires understanding of household consumption patterns while coordinating with storage capabilities and meal planning requirements that determine optimal purchasing amounts for different types of perishable products. Freshness requirements vary among different vegetables while affecting storage methods and consumption timing that influence purchasing decisions and meal planning activities throughout the household food management process. Storage capability limitations affect purchasing decisions while requiring coordination between acquisition and preservation methods that ensure purchased products remain usable until consumed without spoilage that would waste money and require additional shopping. Meal planning integration helps ensure that purchased ingredients will be used effectively while preventing waste and ensuring that household food supplies support planned cooking activities and family nutrition goals. Onions and garlic will provide flavoring for the dishes she prepares throughout the week, while fresh herbs will add both nutrition and taste enhancement to soups and stews that form the foundation of family meals during this season. Flavoring provision through purchased ingredients enables enhanced meal quality while providing household cooks with tools for creating satisfying and nutritious meals that meet family preferences and nutritional requirements using available ingredients and cooking methods. Nutrition addition, through herb inclusion, provides health benefits while enhancing meal appeal through improved flavors and aromatic qualities that contribute to family satisfaction with daily food experiences. Taste enhancement capabilities of fresh herbs improve meal quality while providing household cooks with options for creating variety and interest in regular meal patterns that might otherwise become monotonous or unsatisfying. Soup and stew, foundation ingredients provide the base for nutritious and filling meals while offering flexibility for incorporating various ingredients based on availability, season, and family preferences for different flavors and textures. Seasonal meal planning coordination helps ensure that purchased ingredients support planned cooking activities while taking advantage of seasonal availability and pricing that affects household food costs and meal variety. She offers in return a small clay pot her husband made, one of his simpler pieces but still showing the quality craftsmanship that marks all his work and demonstrates the skill level that enables their family to participate effectively in market exchanges. Trade offering demonstrates the barter system operation, while providing evidence of household production capabilities that enable participation in market economy through creation of goods valued by other community members. Simple piece value reflects the reality that not all pottery requires elaborate decoration, while demonstrating that even basic functional items can command respect and fair exchange when created with proper skill and attention to quality. Quality craftsmanship standards maintain reputation while ensuring that all products bearing the potter's name meet expectations that support continued customer confidence and willingness to accept his work in trade transactions. Skill level demonstration through consistent quality creates market recognition while enabling family participation in economic activities that provide access to goods and services needed for household welfare and prosperity. Market exchange effectiveness depends on product quality while requiring reliable standards that enable customers to accept pottery in trade with confidence that items received will perform satisfactorily and provide expected utility. The bargaining that follows is friendly and unhurried, conducted between two people who respect each other's position and understand the relative values involved, while seeking arrangements that satisfy both parties through fair and mutually beneficial exchange. Friendly negotiation reflects established relationship, while creating pleasant social interaction that enhances market experience beyond simple commercial transaction through personal connection and mutual respect between trading partners. Unhurried pace demonstrates that both parties value relationship maintenance while ensuring adequate time for proper evaluation and negotiation that leads to satisfactory outcomes rather than rushed decisions that might create dissatisfaction. Mutual respect acknowledgement creates foundation for fair dealing while enabling both parties to negotiate confidently without concern about exploitation or unfair treatment that could damage ongoing commercial relationship. Value understanding enables efficient negotiation while preventing disputes and misunderstandings that could arise from unrealistic expectations or lack of knowledge about fair exchange rates for different types of goods. Fair exchange seeking ensures that both parties benefit while maintaining relationship quality that supports continued cooperation and mutual satisfaction with trading arrangements over extended periods. The vendor examines the pot carefully, testing its weight and admiring its proportions while assessing quality factors that determine its utility and value for his own household use or potential resale to other customers who appreciate quality pottery. Careful examination demonstrates professional assessment, while ensuring that accepted goods meet quality standards that justify the exchange ratio and provide adequate value for vegetables offered in the trading arrangement. Weight testing provides information about wall thickness and construction quality, while indicating durability and functionality that affect the utility and longevity of pottery items used for household purposes. Proportion appreciation reflects understanding of aesthetic qualities while recognizing design elements that contribute to both visual appeal and functional effectiveness in pottery items used for various household applications. Quality assessment skills enable informed trading decisions while protecting against acceptance of inferior goods that might not provide adequate value or perform satisfactorily in intended applications. Value determination requires understanding of pottery quality, while enabling fair evaluation of trade proposals that balance vegetable value against ceramic value in ways that satisfy both trading partners. He knows good pottery when he sees it, and Enlil Bani's reputation for quality precedes his work, creating market recognition that enables favorable trading terms while demonstrating the value of professional reputation in commercial relationships. Quality recognition skills reflect market experience while enabling efficient evaluation of trade goods that might otherwise require extensive examination and testing to determine appropriate value and trading potential. Professional reputation creates market advantages while reducing transaction costs and negotiation time through established credibility that enables customers to accept products with confidence in quality and value. Market recognition provides competitive advantages while enabling premium pricing and favorable trading terms that reflect accumulated reputation and proven performance over extended periods of commercial activity. Quality precedence means that reputation enables business success while reducing marketing costs and customer acquisition efforts through word-of-mouth recommendations and established credibility within commercial community. Favorable trading terms result from reputation, while providing economic benefits that reward investment in quality and customer satisfaction over extended periods of professional development and market participation. They agree on the exchange quickly, both satisfied with the fairness of the trade and confident that each has received appropriate value while maintaining relationship quality that supports continued cooperation and mutual benefit. Quick agreement reflects mutual satisfaction while demonstrating efficient negotiation between parties who understand relative values and maintain trust that enables rapid resolution of trading arrangements. Trade fairness ensures continued relationship, while providing both parties with confidence that exchange terms reflect appropriate relative values for goods offered and received in the commercial transaction. Appropriate value receipt satisfies both parties while ensuring that trading arrangement provides adequate benefit to justify participation and encourage continued cooperation in future commercial interactions. Relationship maintenance, through fair dealing, creates long-term benefits, while ensuring continued access to quality products and reliable trading partners who provide superior service and competitive terms. Continued cooperation support enables future trading while building social and commercial capital that provides advantages in competitive market environments where relationship quality affects business success.